Now, without further ado, allow me to welcome a serial entrepreneur, the traffic hacker himself, the one who is spearheading multiple ventures, running multiple businesses. And he's not just doing it, he's mentoring and hand holding a number of people to do it. The part that you probably do not know, and I'm a nice person and I'll tell you, is that he's a drummer. And I'm curious, for those of you who keep saying, oh, I'm multi-potentialite and this, I don't think there's any further multi-potentialite than our speaker this evening. If you're as excited as I am, put with fire emojis in the chat. Welcome with me, Mr. Sam Havard.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for having me. All right, it's beautiful to be here. Thank you for having me. And I think I was having a little bit of chat with CTA. And by the way, I got to know that acronym a few days ago. And she was like, you don't have profile. I mean, I think this is like the second time that I'm going to be speaking for her. And then she was asking for profile. Maybe after today, I'm going to try and put something together so that I will look serious like other people, other speakers across the globe have profile. I used to have one, by the way, and that was, I wrote it in my university days. And it was so long that one day I read it and I could not pick one thing that I was saying about me, but there were a lot of words. They were just defining beautiful things, but really I wasn't saying anything serious until one day a particular gentleman wrote his Facebook profile and copied exactly what I wrote. He just removed my name and put his name there. And I was laughing. Anyway, I'm very happy to be here. Thank you very much for this opportunity to reach out, this opportunity to be a blessing to people. And I'm saying hello to everyone who's watching on YouTube. Hello to all of you. Hope you're all doing great. And all right, I have a very interesting assignment in front of me because I asked really, what am I speaking on? Sometimes they give a speaker a topic to speak on and the speaker is constrained to that topic to deliver based on the topic that is given. But it's always a very difficult assignment when you are not given a topic and then you are just let loose. What happens at the end of the day is what you have eaten over the years, your life experiences, your personal journey, all right, now begins to come out. And it's actually a very beautiful experience from what I've seen in the past years. Anytime I'm having to speak without necessarily preparing a specific topic. So, like I'm going to say today, what you would hear from me, this is the first time this is coming out. What you would hear from me are things that I probably have not shared before anywhere. What you would hear from me, I don't even know it yet. So what you're going to hear from me is going to be straight from heaven. I believe that God brought you here or allow you to watch this training and session right now because there is a word that is going to come out of my mouth that is specially prepared for you. So I want you to get ready for a prophetic moment. And when I mean prophetic moments, I mean a moment of words that are going to speak directly to your situation, a moment of words that are going to give you exact actionable step that you really, really need. You are facing different scenarios and situations right now. You are different phases of your life. Some of you are young, so young, you are below 20. Some of you are in your 20s. Some of you are over 20s. Some of you are probably in your 50s or 60s, whatever level you are. This is the type of speech. This is a type of masterclass, a type of presentation where a direct word from heaven comes to eat you. So please prepare. to get a word. All right. It's very important that I lay this foundation so that I don't just keep talking to you and maybe excite you, or as the case may be. So I want to do shout out to Temi Ajibewa. I call her my girlfriend. She's my certified girlfriend. I do not have anyone before. I heard Dr. Steven say that if you Google his wife, it is Temi that is going to. Temi just have plenty of husbands in different sectors, you know.
When I Google your girlfriend, I will show up too, Abby.
Imagine. So it's possible that could happen. All right. Dr. Steven will always say, I don't know what's between you and that Temi. We had a meeting a few days ago, and he still brought the same thing out. For 3 years, he's been saying that. I don't know what's between both of you. You guys' friendship is just this and that. I say it's made in heaven. You cannot come between it. So thank you very much for this opportunity. And I celebrate you for heeding the call and doing this, because this really is what's going to transform a lot of lives. Everything I do today was because I was also given a chance by someone like you several years ago, who allowed us to have access to some set of words that were spoken into our lives and brought out the potentials we never knew were there. All right. They gave us mirror, things to look at, things to hope for, things to desire. I was telling, I had a meeting, interestingly, this life has changed. I had a meeting in 2 countries today, and I did not leave Dubai. All right, I'm still in Dubai, and I was in 2 countries. I was in Cameroon and I was in Ghana. So I had a mob of people, business leaders all across the countries gathered together, and they hosted me in 2 countries at separate meetings. And I remember sharing some of my stories with them. So most times we are able to become everything because somebody spoke something to us. I heard a speaker said years ago that he made 2 million in 45 minutes. Yeah, he spoke for 45 minutes and they paid him 2 million naira. This was naira because I was living in Nigeria at the time. And all of our heads were scattered like, oh my God, 2 million in 45 minutes. Oh my God, this is so great. And I was seated there saying, wow, one day I'm going to get there. Ladies and gentlemen, a few weeks ago, I was making a joke in a class. I don't know if Temi knew this. I was making a joke in a class, and then I was trying to give them an example of what it means to make an offer. And then I made an offer, and it took me 5 minutes to speak about this. And in 5 minutes, 1 million naira has been paid to my account. I saw the alert, the series of alerts, and I was like, I was joking. The product does not exist. I was just making it up. It doesn't exist. People paid in 5 minutes 1 million naira for what does not even exist. So I had to tell them, okay, it's like I will have to go and create the product eventually. So now I'm not making 2 million in 45 minutes. I'm making 1 million in 5 minutes, even with a product that does not exist. I moved on about 4 years after I heard that word to make my own 4.5 million in 1 hour. So I heard somebody said they made 2 million in 45 minutes. It inspired me. I worked it out. And 4 years after, I made 4.5 million in 1 hour. This type of platform is where you dream. This type of platform is what shows you the potentials in you, is what shows you what is possible for you. You hear someone's story, you're inspired. You have a new approach to your life. You have a new fire in your bone. Different things now drive you. You have lost hope before, thinking what good could come out of where I'm from. But all of a sudden, something new happened to you, and these things begin to guide how you live your life. These things begin to guide the way you respond to life. And before you know it, you start to produce after his kind. Let me shock you. There was a gentleman who was an apprentice. So he went to work with a particular business magnate. This man had several businesses in shipping, but his major business was really in agriculture and livestock. He was one of the richest men in the region, in the continent at that time. He was so wealthy. Now, this young man who was going to do apprenticeship under this man, a very brilliant young man. And when he got to this guy, okay, you are like a family to me. I'm your uncle, actually, by birth. Your mother and myself are brothers and sisters. So I'm your uncle. So I'm going to treat you well. So you will serve me for 7 years. And in these 7 years, I am going to, every profit we make, every expansion we make in the business, I am going to split the shares into 2. And you are going to own 50% of the business after 7 years. So work with me, help me grow this business. If the business was doing $1 billion before, and in 7 years, we are now doing $2 billion, you are going to own, because this is an increase of $1 billion, you will own 500 million worth of shares in the company. The guy was happy. He was so excited. So he put in his best. He did very well. He worked so hard. And the business did not move double. The business did not move from 1 billion to 2 billion. The business moved from 1 billion to 10 billion. So when the uncle now saw that, hey, this is an increase of 9 billion. You want to own 4.5 billion? Where did you come from? What did you know? You are too young. So he thought about, what can I do, to break this guy down, all of that. And the guy now said, you know what? We are not going to split the business anymore. I'm changing the game. I want you to serve me for 7 more years. He said, because these 7 years that you have served me, my business has expanded and developed and blew up. And I cannot just give you the half and whatever and let you go. Said, please serve me for extra 7 years. You see, these 7 years, we will expand to other countries. And as we expand, you will now own half of every expansion we have into other countries. So the guy had no choice. He decided to still obey his uncle and decided to serve for extra 7 years. Remember, he's getting old. As a matter of fact, he got married in the process. And this guy continued to serve. This is uncle. And he was serving the uncle. First year, the uncle did not do any expansion. It was just expanding within the country. Second year, the uncle did not do any expansion. So because they were doing livestock, the uncle now said, you know what? All this specific kind of animal that have this color are going to be yours. So we're not doing 50-50 anymore. Every animal that has this color belongs to you. So you own 100% of those animals. And that is how your payment is going to be. Some of you who go to Sunday school already know the story I'm talking about. All right. So this guy now thought about it. The color that my uncle said, we don't have that color in stock. How are the animals going to produce this color of cattle if this color were not part of the animals that were mating? So the guy thought about an idea and he decided to do something. He decided to cut different cloth designs. And when he got these cloth designs, he put them in front and redesigned the places where all these animals were having sex, where they were mating. So every time the animals are mating, they are seeing the design that this guy just made in front of them. As they were mating, they were seeing the design. As they were seeing the design, they were mating. At the end of the day, when all these animals conceived and started giving birth, guess what? They all gave back to the color that they were seeing. They all gave back to the pattern that the uncle had said was going to be his own. At the end of the 7th year, the guy became so wealthy, he was too rich that the uncle had to let him go. This story is in Genesis, a story of Jacob and Laban. Ladies and gentlemen, you produce after what you see. It is what you are seeing every day that you conceive and you give birth to. See, your outcome in the next 5 years, your outcome in the next 10 years is not going to be some kind of magical thing that are going to happen. It is going to be according to the things that you have seen. If you have not seen it, it cannot happen. Yesterday, I went to get a new phone. I think I mentioned to Jimi. And when I got there, they now showed me the latest Z Fold, Galaxy Fold. So I was like, this Fold phone, no, I have thought about it. So immediately I was now contemplating, should I get what I wanted to come and get, or should I get this Z Fold that is now, like a classic thing, but I've never used it before. But I noticed that for the last few weeks, during the pre-order, the moment they announced the S22 Ultra, it has registered in my mind. I've watched several YouTube videos to see what the phone looked like and all of that. Ladies and gentlemen, I ended up buying the S22 Ultra, which was the one that my mind had been conceiving, I've been looking at over and over and over. It didn't matter what that guy said about the phone. As a matter of fact, there was another white guy that came and said, I don't know why you guys are buying 22 Ultra. I said, Z Fold is the best phone. You can never use any phone. I mean, there were so many things trying to get me in the direction of the Fold, but I said, no, This is what I've always seen, and that was what I produced. So, ladies and gentlemen, one of the benefits of this event is the fact that you'll be able to see through the lens of the people that are doing some things that you have not started doing yet. You're going to be able to see through the lenses of people that are doing some things that you don't even know you could do. And through this mentorship program, you will be able to generate the type of results you want to see. I don't have a businessman here. It is not people like me that are supposed to be here. And I'm going to share that with you today because that's what God laid in my heart to share just about 5 minutes before this event started. The things you are going to hear, I want you to do me a favor. Share this with everybody you care about, old and young and teenagers, young adult, everyone you know. Put this on your status right now. There are a few things that I'm going to be sharing that is just going to be what they need, all right, to move to their next level. I have no business being here because it's not people like me that are supposed to be in this type of place. And I'm going to share that with you. But somehow I am here talking to you because I heard somebody. I am here talking to you because I also listened to someone. And the things they said to me made me believe that no, I'm bigger than where I am. Yes, this might be my current state. This might be the current state of my family, of the background, of the places where I'm coming from. But I am bigger than this. I'm meant to be bigger than this. I am meant for something bigger, larger, and greater. And that is exactly why I am here today. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be speaking. I had to get a title for what I want to talk about today. I wanted to call it Do Extra. Do extra. Do extra. I want you to type it for me in the chat box. Do extra. Do extra. Do extra. Do extra. Yesterday, I popped in on the session that Pastor Dami was having, and then I listened to a bit of Dr. Stephen before I began my meeting, so I couldn't really stay to the end. And I heard a few things that was being talked about, and one of the things was, I think CTA used to bedwet. I think she confirmed, and Pastor Dami also used to bedwet, and then I now remember that me too. I used to wet the bed as well. So that's the first thing that I want to say. So it's a confession thing. So in case you are young and you used to, it's very important for you to know that we are plenty. You know, there's none of this temptation that catches you that is not common to all. So it is all of us who are in it together and all of that. All right. So I'm going to be explaining to you what I mean by do extra, and why this simple phrase, all right, that I just mentioned is going to be the difference between the vision that you currently have for yourself, which is 10% of what you should have as a vision. It will be the difference between what you could do and 10 times of what you have been thinking you could do, all right? So everything you have ever conceived in your mind for yourself are possible, all right? As a matter of fact, you could do more. As a matter of fact, you could become more, all right? So this phrase, by the time I'm done explaining it as it is laid in my heart, is going to show you exactly why you could do far more than you are currently doing, why you are meant to do a lot more than you are currently able to do right now. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into this. Okay, so today I'm going to be sharing some things I'm sure I've never really shared before. Some 2 years ago in 2020, I hosted a camera crew in Lagos, and for 3 days we were shooting. And in those 3 days, one of the things that I did was to tell my life story in a documentary format. And I think the recording took over 30 minutes. Over 30 minutes at the time they did all the cutting and everything. And we have not released it yet. And it contains some stories that probably have not shared, even with my inner circle people and my students and all of them. Most likely, they have not heard some of these things before. But the most important thing about the story that I'm going to share is to let you understand the concept of do extra and attach it or apply it to your own life right now for you to be able to understand that everything you have ever thought about can become better. You can do more, can do better than you are currently thinking about. So this is what I mean. I was born to a very interesting family. My dad was a military man. He had retired about 2 years before I was born. And he served in a country where they don't honor pension. They don't honor civil servants. So they were owing them pension. So my dad didn't have any business. The only other thing he knows how to do was farming. And he was not even doing large scale farming. He was just doing the farming that his family could eat, you know. So just a little bit of yam here, a little bit of rice, a little bit of maize, you know, just, he wasn't selling any of these things. All the produce from his farm, for you to know how big, which is how small the farm is just for his family to eat. All right, that was all he was doing. So their salaries, their pension were paid maybe once or twice a year. Sometimes they pay them 1 month, and then it will take another 6 months. They can now pay 3 months. Sometimes in an entire year, they might not pay them at all. All right. And he has ego. He told his wife, "You are not going to work. And all I married you for is to take care of my children. So you are not going to work. You cannot do any work and all that." So Momsi was supposed to be a full housewife, and he's an Edo man, so they have stupid ego. I don't know where those people get some of those ego from. So after his discharge from the military, and money was not coming, he wasn't getting any stuff. He had about 3 children, I think, that was at home at that time, who were not going to school. And some of these children were already crossing the age 12, 13, 14. They were already looking like adults. And my mom was like, "What is this that is about to happen?" I stopped school at primary 4 because all the teachers wanted to marry me. That's the word she used. So she stops going to school at primary 4. And now my children are growing and they're not going to school because one man says I shouldn't work. But my dad had a beautiful plan to become wealthy. He had an amazing plan. The plan was so great, it was to receive the Guinness Book of Record. But that plan was only great in his head. It's a stupid plan. It's the most stupid plan ever. And my dad's plan was that he will keep on playing pool. And one day he will win lottery in the pool and all his children will go to school. I mean, how interesting can a man be and say that? You see, you will go to any school you want. This game that they just gave me, I'm going to put this money in it. And when this game win, you will go to school. That was what my dad said. Year 1, game did not win. Year 2, they played this game every week. You know, Arsenal versus Man U. Some of you probably have parents who play pool back then. I started knowing about Arsenal and Chelsea and all of that before I even know they were a football club. I used to think they were probably clothing name, and you know, because every time soldiers come to our house, all they are talking is Aston Villa will go away and meet with Sheffield United, and oh my goodness. So that's what his plan was. But one day my mom said, enough is enough. You know, I got to do something. My children had to go to school. So she didn't have any money. This man was not going to give her money, but she noticed that she has a neighbor who was going to the market to buy things and resell in the night. So she spoke with that woman. "Please, can you take me to some of your suppliers? Maybe they could also give me some things to sell, you know, and when I sell, I will come and give them money." Said, "So what kind of things are you thinking of selling?" My mom said, "There's no better cook than me in the world. I believe I'm the best cook in the world. I can cook heaven and earth." And truly, that woman is the best. Oh my goodness. And if you have ever eaten my food before, you will know, even me, that I'm the worst product of this woman. My cooking is top notch. I'm serious, so tell me. If I cook for you, you'll be converted. Oh my God. Don't worry. Next time I come to Nigeria, I'm going to cook something. I have you, maybe you and your husband come and taste. All my students have ever seen me, they know. All right. So this woman can cook heaven and earth. She's good. Seriously. I mean, I'm yet to meet that woman that cooks better than my mom. Maybe very soon I will. But right now, So back to the story. So she believes that she could cook heaven and earth. And because of that, she went to raw food supplier. So they supplied her beans, they supplied her yam, and she felt, okay, what could she be cooking? Now, this other woman was selling in front of the university campus gates. So she spoke with the woman, and just beside the woman, they got a special space for her. She got 3 big stones and made a rumeta, and then went to pluck firewood, put firewood there, got a bit of pan, some of the things that she had in the house, brought it out, and then she started frying akara. And then, of course, people were like, they are just starting to fry akara here. They will just come to have a taste. When they buy akara 5 naira, they will go and bring their friends, say, yeah, there's something they are frying at these university gates. You must come and eat it. Before you know it, our akara start having queue. People will queue to buy akara, even if there is rain. We were frying. So the business started expanding and all that. So she will sell. The next morning, she goes to pay the supplier. She will sell overnight. Next morning, she goes to pay the supplier and all that. This thing became fights. Popsy travel when she pulled these runs. But by the time he came back, after all the fight and fights, the whole thing is, okay, give me money. Now, Shebi, you don't want me to sell. See, I've put food in the house. Your children are looking healthy. They are now feeding and all of that. You should thank me. So somehow he decided to support her. Thank God he supported her for that. And that was how Mom still was able to raise money and put people like us to school. Me, I was lucky. I think just barely a year after I was born, she had started doing the business. So I was able to go to school earlier, but my older ones, oh my God, they were all homeschooled before they now start taking them to school and all of that. And the same thing happened when I finished primary school. It was time for secondary school. The school I selected did not pick me. I didn't know why. I had a very, very high grade in my common entrance. And then they told Momsi about a new school that just opened, and then they should go to the school and meet the principal. They were going to offer me admission because I have a very good grade and all that. And Dad said, even if they go to that school now, who will pay the school fees? That he doesn't have money, that should go and sit at home first. Let him collect some pension. He will play more game, and then maybe I could go to school. My mom refused to. And it was only by the action of that woman that she was able to, this same woman that used to sell things that took her to people who were selling, it was this same woman that took her to a school, very funny school, because I attended a very, very funny school. My school was like the lowest of schools. It was in the slum of Ilorin. Ilorin as a city is slum in itself, but my school was now in the slum of the slum. All right. So they eventually gave me admission into that school. My school was so bad. We were only 2 people in the entire school, GSS 1 to SS 3, by my knowledge, who could make a complete sentence in English language correctly. Only 2. Just imagine your own school. In my entire school at that time, were only 2 that I know that could make a complete sentence. The rest of them were Uludu. That was the type of school that I attended. All right. So this was how my family story started. And I was given opportunity like that, little by little. And one day, I said to myself, even though we're living in the midst of all of this, even though our beginning was this rough, we're living in a boys' quarter of a face me, I face you flats. It was a boys' quarter that we were living at that doesn't have a kitchen, doesn't have a bathroom, and all he had was just the sitting room and the room. And both, I'm looking at my sitting room right now because my sitting room is so large that I had to do a partition for a studio, and I have the sitting area and all of that. The room and parlor where I grew up were 6. All right. Where I grew up is not as big as my sitting room. Right now, my current sitting room is bigger than the entire space we're living in. So we used to unfold the house in the night so that there would be space to sleep. So we'll pack all our chairs and table on top of each other on one side, then we'll now spread something on the floor. The people will now sleep like sardine on top of each other. That's how we used to sleep back then. So in the midst of that, I knew that I was meant for more. Something in me tells me that I was meant for more. Let me give you a few gists. Before I was born, my mom got some prophecies about the child she was going to have and how rich and wealthy and big the child was going to be. And one of the reasons I was named Samuel was because they believed that I was a special child from God. Maybe I am. I think I am. and, you know, when my mom gave birth to me, they didn't have money to feed everybody. At this time, she had started selling akara before I was born. Yeah. She would buy pig milk. My siblings will not, they dare not taste it. It is only for me. She will buy egg and then make it only for me. So only me was getting special treatments amongst all my siblings. When I was born, I was so big that they did not believe that I was our son. I don't know, maybe children of poor people have a way they look. I wasn't born in an hospital. I was born in a church building, actually. so when they moved out to maternity, they didn't believe that that was the daughter of and the son of that woman. All right, so she gave me special treatments and all of that. You know, I was so big and very yellow. I didn't have any hair on my head. My mom sometimes before she passed, she would look at me and say, "How did you get hair in your head? They told me you will have hair." I will argue. Say you did not have any hair. And by the time hair started coming out, it was completely brown, like pure brown hair. So they used to call me yellow back then. Some of you do not know that I used to be very light skinned. I don't know how I got dark. I don't know yet. I'll still find out someday. All right. So she knew that something was special about me. And she gave me special treatment. And maybe those things laid some seeds inside me. I don't know. But I knew that I was not supposed to be in the situation we were in. Ladies and gentlemen, the first thing you need is to detach yourself from your current situation. Your current situation, what is happening in your neighborhood, what is happening in your life, in your family, around you. Some of you are in Nigeria, there is no electricity, there is no fuel. Detach yourself from those situations. That is not you. Those things does not define you. You are not meant for those places. That experience or those experiences are temporary. All right? You are only a visiting professor. You are going to go back. That is not where you're supposed to be. So you first of all need not accept your current situation as a personal property. You must be able to detach yourself from it. You might not know how you're going to escape it. You might not know how you're going to move to the other side, but you must know that I am meant for more. This is not supposed to be where I am. That's the first thing. If you can't do that, every other thing is just going to look like movie to you. Every other thing is going to look like motivational speaking to you. If you cannot do this. So the first thing I did was I knew from a very young age that I'm meant for more. I knew from a very young age that even though we're poor, we're poorer than the poorest. As a matter of fact, we're the poorest of all the families in our streets. So all the children, when they play, and somebody need to play the role of a poor boy, it was always me. The only place I got grace was in church. I don't know, somehow every pastor of the churches we attended then just fell in love with me. And every time we are doing drama, I always act pastor. They never made me to act rich man. It's pastor. And pastors back in the days were poor people. Sure, you know, right? Just recently the pastors are now rich. Back in the days, pastor, they are poor people. Pastors don't have cars. Pastors don't have houses. Pastors live in mission house. All right. And then so they are the ones that church members will bring problem to and still be trying to solve the problems for the. So pastors were not, it's these days that they're not doing private jets. Maybe if pastors were doing private jet, then I'll probably be a pastor today. You know, I saw Pastor Dami speaking yesterday, and pastors were not fine like that. They were not too like Pastor Dami. I mean, no. that's not how pastors were. So pastors loved me, so I always asked pastors stuff and all of that. But the truth is, everything around me was telling me you are not supposed to be here. Whenever a child is organizing birthday, there is a place they put people like me. All right. People like me were not served food when other children were being served. People like me were allowed to rush the leftovers that other children had eaten. That is what we do. We rush the leftovers, put it together, the thing becomes more than, what they say, we just pick this one, put it together, and then we start eating. And we don't have access to spoon or cutlery, who even his hands, we'll eat and rush it and run away. So when they are doing the party, we'll stay at the gate of the compound. We'll be dancing, we don't wear clothes. We wear, what do we call pata back then? This panties is what we wear. So we'll come like that, no shoe, no nothing. Our legs are white. Everything, we're going to play around because we only have two clothes. One for Sunday, one for Christmas. One for Sunday, one for the one for Sunday, we have probably about two variations because our Sunday uniform, I said it. Our Sunday dressings were uniform, all right? So it has to be the same thing every Sunday. So most of the time it is white and black. Black trouser that started jumping because now we are growing and we have to hope for the next Christmas when they will be able to buy us another one and then we'll manage it. This were my background. I'm sharing this so that maybe some of you have similar background. Maybe some of you are also in the same situation right now. But I want you to look past all of that. And the first thing I'm asking you to do is detach yourself from those experiences. Those experiences, even though to some of you is now past, is still at the base of your decision making. Every time big things come at you and you're supposed to take action on it, something tells you, Sheru and one Benny. Is it your type they are looking for? What do you have? Are you qualified for this? You are not supposed to be here. That thing tells you and demoralizes you. It breaks you down and tells you are not enough. It tells you you can't do this. It tells you it's not your kind that we are looking for. This particular stuff is not meant for you. So I want you to understand that this is not you. So detach yourself from it. You are what you think you are. Let me say that again. You are what you think you are. Let me say it in a different way. You are what you believe you are, which means to dream is free. To have vision is free. Whatever it is you want to become is free. To think about is free. To want to become it. And one of the most important things or choices you have made is to be on this type of program, because on this type of program you'll be able to see people who are probably in a worse situation, who used to be in a worse situation than you are right now, or that you have been in recent time, and right now they are now doing amazing things across the world. They're now doing fantastic things across the world, things they never thought they could do. All right. Up until 2016, if I'm correct, 2016, I had never been to an airport, even though we're living opposite an airport. I've never entered the airport. I've only seen a plane from afar. I don't know what it looks like, except the ones I saw in movies. All right. So it's never even occurred as a thing to be proud of. I mean, to desire, because it was just far-fetched. I mean, this is bigger than what's people like us are supposed to. My first day on a plane, I thought maybe somehow, they were going to call me out, or I thought everybody knew it was my first time. So, so the way they were looking at me, it was like, so what are you doing on plane? Why are you not on a bus? What are you doing here? That was what I thought their minds were saying to me. I thought they knew that it was my first time. I never knew that people like us could fly. All right. So there are things that are going to happen or that are happening to you that listening to people like us, listening to this type of program will let you know that you are meant for more. All right. So the first thing you want to do is to separate yourself. So one major thing happened all through when I was young. And this is a very big critical lesson that I want everyone to listen to, especially because I know 99% of people listening to me are Africans, especially Nigerians. All right. And maybe other African countries also share the same sentiment, but I can speak for Nigerians so well. All right. From the time I was young, every time a big prophet or big pastor was coming to town for crusade, my dad and mom take everybody in the family to the crusade ground. Let me repeat that. Every time there is a big pastor or big prophet coming to town to do a crusade, they take the entire family to the crusade ground. And the reason they do that is because we were so poor that the only way we believed that something would happen in our lives was through a miracle. So my family were number one family that I know who were crazy about seeking miracle. We attended CAC. We did CNS. We did Celestia. When Redeem came, we did Redeem. We did Church of God Mission. Just name any church, any prophet. We were there. Going from pillar to post, from mountains to mountains. My mom fasted. I believe probably one of the things that made us sick at old age was because of the fasting and prayer and all that. I could fast like crazy. Those things were created in me such that there was a time in my life that I did 7 hours non-stop prayer. I did 24 hours non-stop, no, 12 hours non-stop prayer, 24 hours non-stop prayer, and then 48 hours non-stop prayer. I want you to imagine that for a moment. 48 hours, no sleep, no break, non-stop. We were praying all through. I was the leader. I gathered some, we were in school then. Non-stop prayer. And all the things we were praying for were breakthrough and success and oh my goodness. So these were the kind of family I grew up. We believe so strongly. All right. There were so many prophecies. They said it was my dad's older sister that was angry with what my dad did, that now did something to his children and his life. So he's not making money. My older ones, they see them flying abroad, but now they are not abroad. They are not even above. And now it's because of those things. And then they say it is my mother's father, who was a spiritualist, that did not do some sacrifice somewhere. And then it was because of that that something did not happen. Then later they said it was my father's first wife, or maybe his wife, maybe his baby mama. I don't know. I think they call such baby mama right now. All right, because that dude was he was one in town. I mean, my dad was dating the first Miss Nigeria. You don't want to, that guy was fine, man. The day he brought the photos, the photo of that lady went viral recently. I was like, this was my dad chick, man. I mean, it's my dad chick. This would have been my mom if they had married or something, but they were busy messing around. Anyway, so the dad was one in town. So they said it was the first wife that had the first child for him, that it was her that is angry with this or whatever and all of that. And then it was just a roller coaster of issues. They were even consulting at some point, some spiritualists. I don't know how to put those people. They are pastors. They sometimes call them prophets. You know, people like Guru Maharaji kind of class. Not Maharaji himself, but people of his kind of class, you know, because the problem kept persisting. So it was all spiritual solutions they were looking for, you know, in every wrong places on the planet. Those were the things that they were looking for. So when their child is sick or going to hospital, they say it's an attack. So they will take the child to church and they will stop selling at age 12, 11, at age 11, 12, I know how to fry akara. So sometimes mom sees in the CNS church with maybe my younger one, and they are doing fasting and prayer. I will be the one to do the beans, do the yam, do the plantain, do everything, pack it to where they are selling, fry it, sell it, do everything. I was that good. I still can fry those things till date. I mean, and if you taste it, you'll be shocked. All right. So these were the things that we were doing. Now, I said this because of one thing. And the reason is because an average person in our Africa and Nigeria believe that when you are not succeeding as fast as you should, some spiritual power are against you. You believe that when you are not doing fine, you believe some village people are against you. When you are not making the type of money you are supposed to be making, you believe that some people are after you. You believe that some Chiwetalagu, sorry, I use that guy's name a lot, is doing some things to you from the village. And because of that, you are not able to produce results. And that used to be my belief, because there was even a time that they said that, I think my dad had passed at this time, because we lost him in 2004, yes. I just gained admission to university at that time. And I remember I was able to tell him, say, sir, finally one of your child is going to become a graduate. He was very happy. He got that news before he passed. So they said that we had to go to the village, and then there is one god at the backyard of their house that they had to go and destroy and do something, and they will do some cleansing for all the children and all of that. The moment they finished saying it, I just told my mom, I said, count me out. You know the child you have. You know me, I'm not part of this, this thing. My older ones will be like, you are too stubborn, you are too this, you are too that. So I said, you people just count me out. All right. So most times when they're doing their fasting and prayer and whatever, most time my mom will call me, say there's one prophet here. The prophet will come and then they will prophesy and say they saw vision and all of that. Sometimes they say they see vision about me, and the kind of vision they see makes me laugh, because I remember one very, very vividly. Please don't laugh too much. The woman said, he spoke some language and said, man of God, my son, something that where I'm working, that some people are planning against me. I say, work, okay. I don't have a job. He said that where I'm working, that my boss want to. I say, boss, okay. I'm self-employed. I don't have any. I didn't tell her. I just, in my mind, I was just saying, when you are done, say you let me know. Then let me try to honor my mom and listen to you. I don't have a job. The only time I did anything job was 2012, 2013, I think. 12, 13, 14. It was only those 3 years that I was on anything job. And even that job was not still like a job, because I was still running the show in the business. All right. But I was an employee under someone's company. I mean, that was like the only time I really knew that I was on anything job. But after that, I've always done my thing. So where did they get boss, co-worker that are doing me and all of that? So number one, I didn't complain somebody was doing me, because I never believed in those things. All right. And number two, all this prophecy you are giving, they will now say, that the church or their rent is due, that I should come and pay the rent, that they will be praying for me every day and all that. My mom will disturb me. I say, Mom, see, the only reason I'm sending you this money is because I know they are disturbing you there. And you are also disturbing me. So this one, I'm only doing it so that they will give you peace. Oh yeah, go and pay the rent. This is the money. So all of these things surround many people in Africa who believe that something is wrong with them. Now, let me speak to somebody. You are probably listening to me right now. Please take this as a prophetic word. You have tried everything you know. Let me repeat what I just said. You have tried everything you know, but you are still struggling. Nothing is working. You have tried everything you know. Nothing is working. When everybody says this thing, you join them to do it. Everyone else succeed, only you doesn't succeed. They say it's that or that thing. You know, sometimes you even think maybe because you start late. And there are some that you have done that you start early with them, and it didn't work for you. All right? If you are such a person, this is your deliverance here. All right? So I want you to know that what is happening to you has nothing to do with those things. The only thing you need to do is do extra. And I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by that. So I want you to stay with me. You have tried so many things. You've tried different type of businesses. You've tried different type of stuff, but it is when it's your turn that it doesn't just work. Other people, it works for them. It looks easy for them, but it's your turn, does not just work. Your case is like my case when I wrote JAMB. I went to almost bet with my friends that I'm going to be one of the top 3 in JAMB in Nigeria, because I was so sure that I knew all the questions and I answered them correctly. Only for JAMB result to come and they jam me with 179. Me that was thinking I will have almost 390 something or whatever, almost 400 over 400. They jammed me with 179. I was like, what's happening here? And they said it's some forces from your father's house. They're the one who held back the hand of the marker of the jam. And even though you scored the mark, they gave you a mark that is, I was almost believing it. Timmy, I was almost believing those nonsense. When I got into the university, first session, my 100 level, we did very well and all that. I went to class, I did stuff, serve God, did everything and all. At the end of the day, everybody else passed in my clique, only me 1.80, and 2.0 is the cutoff mark. I was asked to withdraw from school. I was withdrawn, because the VC that just came into school that time became very serious. They published the name of all of us that was asked to withdraw in newspaper, national dailies. Publish our name, our matric number, our department, our faculty, and the fact that we were withdrawn from school. Thank God my mom finished only primary 4, so she wasn't reading newspaper. She used newspaper to sell akara, so she would have seen her son's name there. So, but thank God she wasn't reading newspaper, so she did not know. So I was wondering, why me? I mean, come on, why me? Why only me and all of that? So, ladies and gentlemen, it is possible that that is your shoe as well. Everyone else seems to be getting it right, but you seems to be struggling with this thing. That could be your position. And that used to be my story, right? That used to be where I was until I figure out this do extra principle. And this do extra principle, I've given you about 2 things already. 1, I told you to separate yourself from what is happening right now. Number 2, I'm telling you, you are not under any spiritual influence. There's no evil force that is doing you. There's no village people that is doing you. There's no village people that is affecting you or anything. All right. I succeeded first in my family because I did not believe those lies. I did not believe those lies. One of the best days of my life was the day one of my old mentors told me, Sam, you will not succeed as long as you kept carrying your family in your head. He said, detach yourself from your family, go and face your life as if you are the only one. He said, if you die today, they will cry for a few days and they will continue living. He said, you think your mom loves you and all that? You think that woman will die if you die? She will mourn for a few months. She will still eat in 24 hours or 40 hours or 3 days. She will still eat something. All right, they will all continue to live and forget you eventually if you die. So why die for them? Jesus had died for them already. So you don't have to die again. I thought my mentor was mad. I said, sir, you don't understand. He said, there's nothing you want to tell me that I don't understand. You might not understand what I'm telling you now. You are not under any obligation to do it, but I pray you do this. You will thank me later for it. I left the presence of that man that day, thought he was mad. I mean, I'm following a mad mentor. And today, in retrospect, I thank God for that singular advice, because I couldn't sleep for days. I kept thinking about it and eventually decided to follow that advice. And in following that advice, I cut off from everyone in my family. It's only when they call me that I pick. I even select the calls that I pick. When they say rent is due, we are looking for money to pay, I say, where do you want me to find it? I say, God will provide. I don't pick call again. Maybe until 3 months. They will call and call and call. So I focus on my life. I didn't say immediately things change for me, but I believe that something will come out of what I was doing. And eventually everything changed within a short period. And I'm going to share with you how. All right, everything changed within a short period. And it was the same me that now went to get them houses, to buy them cars. You know, my siblings, I started calling, which house do you want to stay? This one say want to go abroad, how much? This one say want house, how much? This one say want car, how much? All I want to know is how much. I was just tearing paper for them till tomorrow. All right, till tomorrow. Our last one got married last year. And then my older sister made a statement that my sister is telling everybody that my brother is a billionaire. So make the wedding very big. Make the wedding very big. As so you think so it's that crazy. I looked into when I came to Nigeria last year for the wedding, between when I came and when I left, I checked what I spent. Amy, if I tell you, hey, I was shocked what I spent within those. I think I spent 2 months plus in Nigeria. What I spent was the type of money that we never thought we could. I'm talking tens of millions, not 10 million. I said tens of millions. Let me just put it there. That was what I spent wedding preparation and stuff and all of that when I visited Nigeria last year. All of this happened because one person decided to say, even though our family have these issues, even though this is our reality, this is not my own reality. I am different. I am made for more. I can be bigger than this. I can do extra, and I'm going to go after them. I'm going to do everything possible. It starts from the mind. When you accept that in the mind, everything else you need to do will start to find their way to you. All right. I didn't just start out and blow immediately. I failed at so many things. And that will lead me to the second principle. You must never give up. Even if you kept on failing, you must learn how to embrace your failures. You must learn how to fall in love with your failures. You must learn how to cannibalize your failure. You must feed on your failures. You must let your failures be the nutrients that grows you. All right? You cannot succeed if you're afraid of failing. I'm not afraid of failing. I'm not afraid to come and say, so we tried this thing, it didn't work. So this is the next thing we want to do. I'm like that. I don't care. But I was not always like that, but I had to build. Now, everyone shares success story. You only see the shiny things. You do not know their failures. You don't know the time. There was a time CTA called me and said, I think it's happened twice, that I ran hard, so I did everything, but I didn't make any sales. So I spent this amount of money and no sale came. Imagine I sold only this. Say, what happened? What happened? I said, people will not know this. Oh, all people will know is she's making money. She's this coach. Everything is pure. It's not every time. Oh. So people will share all of this, but you would never hear her say, I'm not doing this thing again. I ran ad. It did not work. People did not buy this particular product. I'm going to look for a job. I have plenty CV. Maybe I can get a job of 2 million per month in Nigeria. You will never hear her descend to that level. And why? Why? It's because she has learned how to fail positively. She has learned how to fail positively. Most people fail negatively. So when things don't work out, when things flop, sometimes your failure is even according to your decision. Because sometimes failure comes according to external decision, things you don't have control over. But sometimes your failure comes because you were stupid and you make stupid decisions. But you learn in your stupidity not to act that way anymore. That is all life wants from you. Have you learned? Then it won't repeat itself. If you didn't learn, it will repeat itself. Please write this down. Lessons of life will continually repeat themselves until you learn. The lessons of life will continually repeat itself until you learn. If you find yourself in a loop, it's because you have not learned the lesson that life wants you to learn. You are probably focusing on the things you lost. You are not focusing on the things you learn. You know, there are two L. I'm now rhyming like Pastor Dami Abi. So you are not focusing on the things you learn. You are focusing on the things you lost. I had collected investment from people and we blew out the money. Tewe was in the same shoe. One of the things that connected us together so well. Most times she talks to me, says, Sam, please encourage me. I don't even feel up to it. I feel like I failed these people. I feel like these are not even understanding. They are saying this. See, there's this person that I really care about that I was close to and I did so many things for. Now she's saying this about me. Oh, she's doing that and all of that. That is the reality of life. She didn't allow that to pull her down. In the middle of it, she kept doing the things she believed. In the middle of it, she kept pushing things. She kept doing things. When my own business failed, the investment and the hedge fund and stuff that we did, I didn't go into hiding. I kept doing video. People will come to my video and call me scam. I'll say, thank you. Because we don't understand. Some of them, if I have time, I'll go and chat. I say, now that you have called scam, so the new business I'm trying to do, you have chased the customer away. So there will not be money now. So how am I supposed to even pay you or refund you for the deal? And I say, I'm sorry. I say, so next time I go live, go there and say, it's not a scam. It's not a scam. He said, yes, I will do it. That was how I converted all those people. So eventually the answer, it's like this guy really did not dupe us. So things went wrong, little by little. And that was how I was able to come back up. So if I had gone away and hid myself and whatever and all that, it's not going to be the story it is today. All right. So that really is one of the things you need to learn. Learn to fail positively. Fail positively. All right. So because of time, let me get right into the crux of the message that I believe God wants me to give to you. And I'm going to share this message by sharing a story that inspired me some years ago. It's one of these made-up story kind of thing. So it was a village, and they have a culture in that village that every child needs to go through a spiritual process where the priests will ask the gods or the oracle what the destiny of that child is supposed to be. Some people still do those practices. So every child patterns their life according to what the oracle or the gods says about them. So this particular family had a twin. They named them, so that we can understand it very well, Peter and Paul. All right. So Peter and Paul went to the priest, just like every other child, at a certain age. Let's say age 10. So each child has to come in separately. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the time to share this right now. If you have not shared this 20 times. Post it 20 places, share it everywhere. People need to hear this. People need to hear this. Share it every time right now. Share, minimize. I'm waiting for you. I'm not going to continue until you share. If you have shared, come and type shared. If you have shared, come and type shared. Share it. I'm not going to continue until you share. All right, share. All right, share. Then secondly, I want you to like the video. All right. There are a number of you watching and only a few of you have liked. Like it so that the algorithm can show us to more people. I'm waiting for you. Share and like right now. I'm waiting for you. Share and like right now. Fantastic. Okay. You have shared, you have liked. Thank you, Priscilla. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for liking. Share it on your WhatsApp status. Share it to the WhatsApp groups you belong to. Send it as private message to some people you care about. All right. Some of you, your parents need to hear what I'm talking about. You might need to share it with them. All right. Share it everywhere. Share it everywhere. Share it everywhere. Let people know what is happening right here, right now. Okay. All right. So Peter and Paul went to meet this spiritual man, the priest of their village. And the priest of their village have them come in one after the other. So the first guy that came in was Paul. And so the man looked at Paul and was shocked at what he saw. Was like, you are our future king. You are going to be so wealthy. You are going to be so rich. You are going to have this. You're going to have that. And that is going to be your destiny. And Paul came out happy. All right. He was jumping and all of that. They asked him, what did the man see? You know, he said, I'm going to be the king and all that. I'm going to be rich. I'm going to be happy. Peter was happy too. Happy for his brother, but happy because if my brother is going to be king, I'll probably be assistant king because we're twin, by the way. We're born by the same parent, born the same day. So definitely I'm going to also be like a king or king's brother or deputy king or a general or some kind of noble. So he was like, okay, if he's king, I'm probably going to be the richest man in the village, you know, so the president and the richest man. He was just thinking about different things. So they pushed him, go inside, go and hear your own. They almost agreed that Peter shouldn't go because if Paul was going to be king, then Peter is sorted. So Peter went in and the man was shocked as well when he saw it. I was like, you are going to be a servant all your life. You will always be poor. You never. He kept saying every opposite of what he said to Paul. And when it was the turn of Peter to come out, he was dejected. He was sad. And his brother and his parents were like, what happened? He said, you won't believe what the priest told me. He said, I'm always going to be a servant. I'm not going to be rich. I'm not going to be, I'm going to be an opposite of what would happen to my brother. So they left the priest's house, and Peter was living his life in sorrow because anytime he does something and it doesn't work, he gives up, saying, they have already said I won't make much out of life anyway, so it doesn't matter if I try this thing 10 times, it won't work. When Paul tries something, the one that they said will be king, and it didn't work, he would try it again, saying, it's me king now. He's supposed to work, and eventually it will work for him. And he was rising, his brother was going down. So one day, Peter, now being a young adult, said to his parents, I don't think there's a future for me in this village. Permit me to go elsewhere. Maybe life might be kind to me and all that. And after a couple of persuasion, his parents allowed him to go. So with cries and all that, they hugged, and he departed, went on a journey to a land of nowhere where he doesn't know. So he kept wandering, and that was all they had about him. Fast forward a couple of years down the line, Paul had become the king of their village. He had become rich. He has plenty of wives. He was living his life anyhow because he knew I was going to be rich anyway. I was going to be king anyway. So he had everything. Some of you know the children of the rich. Now, let me break your hearts right now. You know the children of the rich, how indisciplined most of them are. How they are the one who join bad gang, they are the one who join cults, they are the one who do all kinds of terrible things, they are the one who do drugs, they are the one who do whatever. Some of them are those, they don't know book, but 2 years, 5 years after graduation, some of them are captain of industry, some of them are doing very well in life. They have houses in banana islands of their countries. They are doing very fine. You, who is serious, always going to class, always scoring good grades and all of that, you are still where you are. So you wonder how come a spoiled brat succeed while a disciplined child struggle. The configuration. Every one of us will have a priest at one point in our life, multiple priests who speaks prophecy to us. Some of your prophecy are in the area you grew up. They said to me over and over, you are not good enough. We don't want people like you here. When they're doing birthday, we show up. They say, go, shoot. We don't want people like you here. People like you don't belong here. You don't know what he was doing to my subconscious. They were prophecies telling me that not you. Maybe these other ones, but not you. We didn't have TV. They will shut the door at us in other people's houses when they are watching movies. And we have to go and peep. Sometimes they will close the curtain on us. We can't watch what is a movie, for crying out loud, because we didn't have TV in our house. They will block us out. They will allow other children. We cannot. So all of these things in your background that come together to form prophetic mega voice. They call it strongholds. All right. These voices, I told you, you can't make it. It is not for people like you. And guess what? You also say, when you are gisting, say the rich people, those rich people, those people that have money, those people. And then your subconscious, that's the programming that runs your life, if you don't understand, kept saying, we people, those people. We people, those people. So who are the we people? The struggling ones, the hardworking ones, the serious ones, the poor ones, the struggling ones, the ones who can't. Oh my goodness. How have you limited yourself? Because of voices that they spoke to you. Because of things that life has said to you over and over and over. If only you will do extra today, you will figure out that it was a lie all along. If only you would do extra today, you figure out that you could also become more. So back to my story. After a couple of years, the other guy had become king, and because of his bad attitude and habits and what have you, he was making stupid decisions. All right. And eventually there was famine. They didn't have savings and all of that. There were so many ideas and advices that were given him that he didn't take. And eventually they ran out of food in the village. And because they ran out of food in the village, you know, people started resorting to all kinds of crimes and all that. And eventually it got so bad that they were eating people now in his village. People were killing people and making suya out of them and eating. And when it became that bad, somebody came and said they had the news that somewhere in the south there is rain and people have food there. Maybe they can travel down south and seek for food. And eventually, because they were all hungry, he decided, okay, let's all migrate. So they migrated and they traveled for several days until they bump into a farm. And when they saw different fruit and they pounced on it and start eating. They didn't even care who owned the farm, if it was someone who owned it or anything. They started eating and all that. And they ate so much that they all slept. So the servant of the owner of the farm came on them and arrested everyone. So they took all of them to the house and the village of the owner of the farm. And then the owner of the farm made a decree that they were going to kill all of them because they were thieves. And before they killed them, the king, this is our Paul now, shouted and said, please don't kill us, make us servants instead. We are only hungry. There was famine in our land. I'm the king, etc., and all that. And please make us your servant. We will serve you, work on your farm. Just be giving us food. Please don't kill us. That was the deal he made with them. And eventually somebody said, okay, he accepts. And he was wondering who's talking. And it happened that the king of those empire, of the villages, a series of villages were a farming village. And they are very wealthy, they have money, they sell to different places and all that. Happens to be his brother Peter that was said was not going to be anything. So the king overruled what the judge said, which was the master of the farm, and said, no, we'll take them as servants. And when they stood them up, he figured out it was his brother. And then, they saw each other, brothers like, that's how the story will go. And it's like, did it happen? How did it happen? That's how I found myself. I left the village and all of that. And I kept working hard as a farmer. And little by little, with my work ethics and the things I was doing, all these people were attracted to me and were able to do more and do more and do more. And that is how we are this big right now and all that. But now you are my servant. I'm now your king, by the way. So it's like we have swapped position. This story is a summary of many of our lives. And I want to say to you that life may not happen easy for you the way it happens for others. It may not. To some of you, it might be easy, but to some of you, it might not be that easy. But I want you to know, all right, that if only you will do more, you'll be able to get the same results that others are getting easily, sometimes even better than them. I teach salespeople who are just starting and saying, you might not be good at sales and closing, but if you can speak to more prospects than any other person, you probably close more sales than every other person. If you can speak to more, when everyone else is doing 5, do 50. When everybody is sleeping, stay awake. And not just awake, because people just think it's staying awake that cuts the deal. It is what you do while you are awake that makes the difference. It is what you do while you are awake that makes the difference. I have friends who visit me some years ago, and while they are in my house, they are sleeping. I am working. At the time that they are snoring or doing extra cool with their girlfriend, I am preparing webinar. I am preparing funnels, I'm writing copies, I'm doing one thing or another. There are a lot of you that are my students who are following me. When you are sleeping is when my own night, my own day is starting. I don't have any arranged house or whatever luxury stuff. I live on this chair, on this table. I work hard, thrice 10 times as hard as any of my peers that I know. While others are relaxing, I am working hard. Do you know why? Because I know where I'm coming from. Because I know I have to prove all of those wrong prophecies, those wrong words, those wrong voices. I have to prove them wrong. All right? I know that no matter what, let me say this to you. This is a word for somebody. Even if truly some spiritual evil forces are after you, They can only slow you down. They can't stop you. You didn't hear me. Let me repeat it. Even if some people are after you, they can only slow you down. They cannot stop you. They can only slow you down. They cannot stop you. So when they slow you down, how do you beat them? You have to do more. You have to do more than other people. You have to invest more into yourself. You have to do extra. You have to go extra mile. Sometimes you have to do it 10 times more. So my secret for doing all I have been able to do for myself so far is because I did extra. I worked extra. When others are afraid to fail, I am not afraid to fail. I face things headlong. All right. I am still doing it. I'm enjoying my life. I don't think I don't know how to enjoy. I'm enjoying my life. All right. Tewe, I have not shared this with you. The last time I took a flight, I was coming back to Dubai from Nigeria. And I think for the first time, they took us through first class. So I've only been seeing first class on the screen. You know, I've really not passed through it physically. So I didn't even look at it. But I know that the day I decided I was going to be flying business, I was almost upgrading to first class, but the money was just too much. My brain cannot comprehend it. So
Hey.
I felt like, let me just stay with my business class, JJ. So this particular day, they moved us through first class. So they passed us through first class, then to business. So I now saw first class for the first time. Tewe, I sat down. Business class automatically looked like economy. And I was like, God, if you catch my leg on a plane and it's not on first class, if you catch my leg on a plane and it's not on first class, and that is what is going to happen. I'm making a trip very soon. I told you I'm traveling. I'm flying first class. I'm not doing business. I've checked the amount. I've seen the whatever.
Those that used to pursue you, those that used to pursue you from that birthday, they should be seeing you now. I hope they still see you.
You see life. So interestingly, that is because I know how to enjoy myself. I worked on my mindset, and it's not like I have the plenty money to blow and do stuff like that. No, not because of that. Just because I believe that I am meant for the best. And I know that I have to work hard for it, and I'm working hard for it. And thank God today, anything I want, I can buy. Anything. Once I want it, I can buy it. Once I desire it, I can afford it, except I don't want it. That's the only reason I would not. I decided to go and buy the latest phone on the planet, or the most expensive phone on the planet. Okay, not the most flagship phone yesterday, only within a 5-minute decision. I was taking a nap. I woke up, I was like, I think I need a new phone. Okay, I just went up, got whatever, went to the mall, and then picked one up, just like that. That is now where I am, but it was not always like that. I had to work my way into this. But my secret, ladies and gentlemen, is that I understood where I'm coming from. And I know that there is no level of prophecies of doomstock or village people or whatever that can hold me back. I took myself away from all of that, and I focused on the things that I wanted to do. And trust me, I've not always had support of people. Let me tell you a funny story. There are some times that I used to pursue the popular speakers in Nigeria. I would struggle to get their numbers. And when I got their numbers, I would send them text messages, try to call and all that. And to their own merit or credit, it's because they are busy, you know, try to invite them for a program, try to just package things and all of that. And nobody was coming through for me. And then I said, you know what? I'll go and do my own. And then I went, looked for an industry that can, deploy the little skill that I have. And I went into those industry and I was deploying my skills, and everybody was liking the things I was doing. And eventually, I might not still have their kind of popularity, but there is no amount of money that they are making that I have not made. And that's the sincere truth. There was the day I was dissing some of my friends how much money I made some years, and they did not believe me. They did not believe that I could have touched that type of money in a short period of time. So you also have the ability to be anything you can be. People might not always support you. Tewe, I like what you typed. People might not always support you, all right? But I want you to know that if only you can do extra, you can be anything you want to be. You can become anything you want to be. And that is the message that I believe God wants me to share with you today. I do everything I do today because I work more than other people. I work more than other people because I know where I'm coming from. I cannibalize myself. I'm my own competition. I don't relax in one place. Once I do something and it's working, I start looking for how to improve it. I start looking for how to do better. I start looking for how to expand. I fail more than I've succeeded. I have failed more than I've succeeded. You may not know my failure stories, ladies and gentlemen. But I tell you, you might see the success stories. All of you now call me billionaire mentor and all of that. But I've failed more, much more than I've succeeded. And I just want to assure you today, that doesn't matter where you are, your level, or the stuff that are happening to you, if you can do extra, you will shock your world. You can be young, you can be old. It doesn't matter your age right now. You can do better than others, and you will do better than others. Please control the information and the conversation in your head. Control the conversation in your head. This is what I do. Practice this. This will help you. I create mental videos a lot. I close my eyes and I fantasize what I would do if I have ₦1 million. And I start writing those things down. And before you knew it, my brain, my mind accept as if I have had ₦1 million, even when I had nothing. When I want to experience something, I go on YouTube, and then I go on YouTube and I watch videos about those things. I feed my mind with the reality that I want. And I go back to work extra double, extra triple to make sure it works. Till date, it's difficult for me to even give tasks to some people because, trust me, almost everything that is needed in my field, I know how to do. The only thing I don't do right now is coding. And in few days ago, I was considering going to learn. I do video recording, I do video editing, I do website design, I write copy, I did voiceover, whatever. I do virtually everything that is needed. I do graphic design. I still do it for myself till date. I still do those things for myself. Things like we outsource easily. I don't. All right, it's even difficult for me to outsource some things now because I'm afraid they will not do it as well as I would do it. All right. When you know that you don't have anybody to save you, you create your own savior. You create your own salvation. All right. And that is what life has given to you. Look beyond what is happening in Nigeria. Detach yourself from the environment called Nigeria. All right. Your destiny is global. What you are given as an assignment is global. I want you to see yourself as someone who has something to offer to people across the world. And I know you will succeed. Thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you so much for attending this event. And I hope I'm going to be able to see you very soon. With this viewpoint of mine, I hope I've been able to convince you that you can do very well, no matter what your foundation is, no matter what your current situation is. You are made at the top. Please do extra. Please. God bless you.
Wow. Sam, why would you come here and share all these deep stuffs when me, your girlfriend, I've not heard these things before? Sam, that's not loyal. I can't hear you. You're muted.
Sorry, I did not plan the things I shared. I believe these are the things that God just wanted me to share for the sake of one person.
My goodness.
I did
I
not plan
have
them.
I have deeper respect for you right now. I remember the first day we met, it was a figure. I had never seen £1 billion naira before. Like, I know I see it when you write it down.
Yeah.
I know it's in numbers, maybe when I'm calculating, but I'd never seen it in somebody's account before. Like, it should show that 1 billion. And then when I saw it in your account statement, in a particular year that was maybe like 3-4 years before that time, I think we met in 2019, 2019. Yes, 2019. And then that was like maybe 2015 or 2016 or so, 2017 or so.
2018, like, it was just a year ahead.
A year behind, right? And I'm like, whatever this guy is drinking, I'm having it. Whatever he's smoking, I'm smoking it. Like, you mean someone can have this kind of results, and that was just so amazing. Thank you so much for coming this evening to just share from your heart. You did not have the 7 steps to success. You did not bring us the 21 steps to money making. You did not come and show us 30 ways to build 30 billion. You came to share your story. And I know that somebody here has left. So Lizzie said, that person is definitely me. Who else felt like that they are here? I mean, that Sam came here for them. Okay, so now they have goals, they have new goals to smash the charge from your past. Fantastic. Thank you, Sam. I have to let you go now because you have another meeting in like 5-10 minutes. So thank you so much. So guys, if you have questions, please drop them in the comments. I will attempt to answer them, but you can always find our billionaire mentor, Sam Havard, on Instagram at Sam Havard _. Right, let me try
Instagram, to go and follow the new Instagram.
What's that one? Please tell us.
Real Sam Havard. Just Real Sam Havard.
At Real Sam Havard.
Yeah, that's the new Instagram. That the old one is still active. It's still the old one can't run ads. Facebook they have decided to fight the account, so the ad account is currently they are fighting with it. So I decided to start afresh.
Okay, interesting.
Wow. I actually wanted to do it so I can document it, so that people can follow it. Okay, this is how your growth process. Yes, so that's why I did that. And
okay,
currently being documented.
Wow, I can see you have 407 followers. I've joined, so now it's 408.
Yesterday.
Fantastic. Okay, then. So thank you so much for coming. I must let you go now. So let me try to go and check our chats again. Comments again. God bless you, Sam. Thank you so much. So I'll leave Jennifer to come in a bit, or who is coming in a bit now, to take us on some things before we bring in our second mentor for the night.
Yay! It has been such an amazing evening. Coach, don't go, because we want to respond to questions if there are any. And you know, we usually have a funny moment. Yesterday, you had promised to share a few more.
That's true. I forgot about that actually. Okay.
Please send in your comments, your questions rather. And as we see the questions, I'll draw Coach Tewe's attention to them while she takes us through the Mentor Me session for today.
All right, now, thank you so much. Okay, so I promised last night that I'm going to share with you how I was able to attract a mentor to request to be my mentor. So most times, the other way is you go and make a request and ask somebody to mentor you, right? Something I have learned, which I'm sharing with you today, on how you can be so attractive that you get the people that you are looking for to look for you. So in my case, I had a mentor. I had a prospective mentor in mind. I loved his results. I loved, how he delivered. I coveted some things that was happening with him, right? And this time I was in law school. And so I got to know him. I really liked him. So I began to attend his meetings and just go there. So first things first is I knew what I was looking for, right? I knew what I was looking for. I wasn't just there. I wasn't just moving around for moving sake. I was going to get specific results, to get specific, what's the word now? Connection and attention from him, right? So, number one, I was clear on what I wanted. Number two, I was sure he had what I was looking for, right? And so, number three is I was showing up around him. Now, this particular day, I knew he had a live event, an event. And so when I was leaving the house, I had the option of just dressing my usual simple, non-stylish way, just put a top and a jeans and just go and just, enjoy the event. But on this particular day, I was like, no, Tewe, you're going before this man. You need to look a certain way. Who knows? Maybe that's how you will be able to connect with him, and then just have him see you. And so I had my cousin with me that day. As we were going, I said, let me change. So I changed, I put on more effort to my looks. I added some more, gloss on my face. And the moment I entered the venue, there was a speaker that was speaking, it was my mentor's event, but it was like a guest speaker speaking. And the guy asked a question, and I just wanted attention. So I stood up, I said, yes, I can answer. Said, come forward. And as I was answering the question, I knew I was babbling in some places. I wasn't saying it correctly, but I must talk for this man to see me. So I sounded as intelligent as I could. I answered a question, I gave examples. I just did this, did that, I took my time on the question, about 3-4 minutes, just answering, over and over. When I was done, went back to my seat, everyone was clapping that, oh, wow. This man now stood up, my mentor, so my proposed mentor then, but my mentor now, he now stood up, looked at me and said, hello, madam, I don't know, where are you now? So I stood up from my seat and he said, you answered the question very beautifully, but there's still some things missing. I believe you need someone to help you sharpen those rough edges. And by the time you're done, you will have your full answer. And I was like, yes, sir, I do. He said, so if you don't mind, I will be honored to be your mentor, if you don't mind. And I'm like, hello, if me, I don't mind. Have you, and it was on my goals for like a year or two to attract him as a mentor. And of course, the moments I had him, like they were to go and see him, I laid out myself, this is who I am, this is what I do, this. I began to look for ways to add value to him. So I will share some, materials and things with him. When I traveled to London, I got him this full original pack of Tony Robbins, content, costing almost like £500 to get that stuff. I got him. He was like, wow, thank you so much, this, that. And this mentor of mine began to expose me. So he had a class on public speaking. Now, me, I'm a public speaker. I've even been teaching others. I have a course on public speaking. But when he announced his course on public speaking, guess what? I paid for it. And it was the first and only public speaking course I have ever attended in my life. But you know what? I did. Why? Because my mentor was organizing. And guess what? I was there. I paid to be there. After I paid to be there, I was in the class. I think it was a 3-day event. On the second day, I was now offering to teach for free. I said, sir, you know what? Speaking is a gift for me, but speaking is a skill that can be acquired. I said, but the business of speaking is not common. I would love to teach my classmates the business of speaking. It was like, wow. Coach Amy really said, yes, sir. I said, okay, if you can do it, absolutely. And that was how I was in the room as a student, but I ended up being a teacher as well. And then moving from there, he had a live event, and there was something on personal branding. He asked me to do to take it. Now, from that class, guys, I was able to connect with somebody in the British High Commission was on seat that day. And when I was done, the woman said, you're so good. My women should listen to you. No, my staff should listen to you. I like your staff. I said, yes, at BHC. I like BHC. British High Commission. I said, And that was how I got my very first, my highest ever. I was paid almost 2 million naira to speak for 60 minutes. 60 minutes, there were about 92 people in attendance. It was virtual. I was in my office. It was on Zoom. They all attended. And when I was done, they paid me over $3,500 or something. Yeah. And I think that was when dollar was just going almost 2 million anyway. And it was all from this mentoring relationship. This mentor of mine now announces my name everywhere as he goes. But you know what? I have never just called him randomly. Never in my entire destiny, my entire life. I always send a text message first. Sir, I'd love to speak with you. If you're available between 6 p.m. and 10 p.m., I would appreciate a call from you. Or please let me know when I can call you. And he will call me once he's sick, anytime he's free between those 4. So I give him like 4 or 5 hours to decide to call me. I'll say it's urgent, but please do this. When I was into some financial mess, my mentor got me a lawyer who said, speak to her, she would help you, this. And those things, the lawyer brought so much peace into my life. I wake up in the morning, I see his message. But I still show up for him. I still share his program. I still I still send him recharge card randomly every single month. And every first of the month, my mentors receive a gift from me. In fact, this afternoon, I still sent someone to help me get live goats to deliver to VGC, one of my mentors' houses. That just go and drop it, that they should do anything with the goats, just to embarrass her with the gifts. So beyond just appreciating somebody, we've said this over and over again. I think we have been hearing it, environment. And it's not only on physical, also online, the people that you roll with. Jimi came and said environment. Danny came yesterday and said environment. DSC came yesterday and talked about people environment. You hear what Sam said now about having to leave people behind at first, because 2 poor people can't help themselves. I hope you know that. 2 poor people can't help themselves. So this guy had to leave his mom, leave his younger ones, leave his older one, leave everybody behind, such that he only replies them when he must. And then from there, after when he had helped himself, he was able to build a house for his mom. He was able to send his younger ones to school, private university. He was able to he was able to celebrate and organize his younger sister's wedding ceremony after he had helped himself. But like I said, 2 people can't help themselves. So you want to be conscious of what you really want out of life. And then ask yourself, how can I add value to this mentor of mine? You don't go feeling entitled. You don't go feeling like you have what it takes. I mean that you are the next best thing after sliced bread. You don't go feeling, looking as if everyone owes you, or even that people even owe you. No, nobody owes you anything. Right? I'm trying to talk to see our guest expert. Sorry. Go on, please, Jennifer.
Also, yeah, so I'm here to draw your attention to a question because, in sharing the story you just shared, you decided that this is somebody you wanted to mentor. And someone is asking, is there such a thing as a God-chosen mentor, or you just search and choose for yourself?
Okay, so I believe that when you say God-chosen, you are talking about somebody who you believe that they are coming into your life is ordained by God. Or do you mean that you wait to hear from God? However you hear from God, you wait till you hear from God and God said, this is your mentor. Is that what you mean? Now, I hear from God, and I'm sure that many of us hear from God. There's a way God speaks to you, right? So it depends. If it's somebody who God has been interacting with you over and over and over before as regards your life, it is possible God speaks to you and say, oh, this is your mentor, and it can happen for you. On the other hand, if you live your life in accordance to God's plan normally, that means you are moving towards your purpose, moving towards your vision, which you believe that God has given you, your God-given purpose. I believe anyone that helps you in that path is God chosen for you. Why? Because you are living in purpose already. So anyone who comes along that path, who joins you on that journey. So it's like me now. So I say this about marriage and things like that, oh, some of you are waiting to hear from God. I say, if you're living your life as a single, you're living your life as a single and purposeful, in line with God's plan, like you're living your life not just by your own intention, but by what God is saying to you every day, right? When it's time to choose a husband, you won't have to wait and say, God, I'm waiting for you to tell me if it's Mr. A or Mr. B. No, because your path has been ordered by God step by step, ordinarily, right? How you would meet the person, what they would say, how it will gel with you. The conversations you'll be having with the person will be lightening up your mind. And be like, no, this is the man. You will know you have a quickening of your spirit if indeed you have a relationship with God. So I don't go labeling something God chosen or God said, or I've seen brothers who have said, God said a married woman is their wife, right? And most of us, we have bastardized this whole God said thinking. So I'm very careful not to go that line, right? But I think my own submission is that if you are someone who you are this spiritual and you hear God ordinarily, and so you are living your life in accordance to his will, the job you are doing is God chosen for you, the career is God chosen, the house you live is God chosen, the clothes you are wearing is God chosen. So definitely anything you do, anything that comes out of that is God chosen as well, based on the fact that he's always with you and he's always giving you instructions. I hope that helps that question. Is there another question, please?
No, there isn't any other question, but of course, I'm encouraging that if anybody has questions, even if it's from Mr. Sam Havard's session, he's not here, but we know that our dear CTA is able to respond to any question. So please, you can drop your questions. I know that even from yesterday, there were there may be questions because we didn't have time to take questions during Mr. Dami's session. So if there are questions from that session as well, you can drop your questions and we'll see how, to respond to them. Yeah. But other than that, yes, while we wait for, our next speaker, I know that you've already, walked us through your story, but currently there are people who may be saying, okay, now I would like to, maybe work with Coach Tewe or be mentored by her, and you've already shared tips. But is there this is now bonus for those who are on the Transformers mentoring to say, okay, you know what, these are the ways you can plug into, what I do and all of that. I don't know if there's any such thing.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Thank you for asking. So, some of you have seen your DMs on Instagram asking me how you can continue with this energy, that you can continue to grow, you can continue to move forward in your life. And just like Jennifer rightly said, for most of you, it's like your first interaction with this kind of knowledge. Like your mind is blown. You're like, whoa, this stuff is new. And I totally feel you. Why? This was how I was too. Some 16, 17 years ago, when I connected with my very first mentor, Reverend Sam Adeyemi, right? I was at a live event where I had gone to meet a boyfriend, so there's this guy I had this heavy crush on. Some of you are here because a girl invited you. Some of you are here because a boy said, come and attend. And that was the case for me too. There's a boy that I had this heavy crush on from my church, and he was in Unilag. I said, okay, Timmy, come and visit. When he said, come and attend the event in my school. And I took it to interpret, come and visit me in school. So I carried my head. I said, let me go down to the event, And lo and behold, this guy was busy all through. Biodu was busy. He did not even have my time. As I came in, he said, oh, welcome. He hugged me. He said, please, go in. He was in or she was. I said, I thought that we will have time to be cozy and sit down and have fun. But my guy did not see me. However, I said, okay, you know what? Let me listen. Once the program is over, I will sit down with him and then we will talk, right? And interestingly, that was how I met Reverend Sam Adeyemi, and then he taught extensively on entrepreneurship, how you will never be broke for the rest of your life if you solved problems for humans. He highlighted that hair needs to be combed, body needs to wear clothes, shoes need to be shined. Excuse me. He said, mouth needs to be fed, those mouths need to brush. He highlighted basic human needs, basic human needs. And from there, I caught something. That day, I went back to my hostel. I did not have capital to start a business. Rather, I began to wash clothes. I had my hands, I had soap, and that was how I began a laundry business in school. I would wash on Wednesdays and on Saturdays. Wednesdays were my GST days, GNS, General Studies. And I would wash clothes on Wednesdays. Then I began to iron. I would wash tops for 20 naira, jeans for 30 naira. I'll iron for 20 naira. If you let me iron for you, I'll give you an extra stitch. Maybe your clothes is torn or your button is ripped. I will fix it for you for free. It was a meeting like this. My mind got moved. Things just shifted for me. And so since then, I realized that really these events are like catalysts. They start you on the journey. However, to sustain you on the journey, you heard Sam talking about failure. He said he has failed more times than he has succeeded. And I can say the exact same thing for myself. If I count the things I failed at, they are at least times 3 of the things I have succeeded at. But you will see my many successes. This one success, this one success, this one success. It's because I have attempted like times 4 of those things. So I have succeeded 1/4 of the time, and I have failed 3/4 of the time. 1/3 I succeeded, 3/4. So 1/4 I've succeeded, 3/4 I have failed. But there's something that can help you to maintain your momentum. There is. It can help you maintain your momentum. And that is what I talk about, networking. So once you have this mind work thing done, and you now have your vision work, like, okay, this is where I want to be. Now you are sharp, ready to go. This is. There is work to be done on a daily basis. Activities you must engage in every single day. And then from this, you now need a network of people to keep you in check, to keep you on track. And that is why I created this post-bootcamp opportunity for as many of you as are ready to go all in, because there is no bar for you. Once you are on this meeting, you can get in. Right now, with this mentoring program, it will run for 6 full months, and where we would help you to develop your skills for leadership, for planning, for communication, for strategic thinking, for networking, and so many more. Then we'll help you to discover your life calling, to nurture your talents, to discover how you can turn your dream, your vision into reality. And then most importantly, you will learn how to build stronger and meaningful relationships, such that you're not just within your own circle, you're within the group of people. You are exposed to minds like you've seen the last 2 days come and take you and teach you and run you through phenomenal processes that they have gone through that is working for them. All right. And so it's a 6-month program, right? And we break it into 3 semesters, 2 months per semester. And we built everything around my 5-step transformation system, from the mind work to the vision work to the daily work, network, and capacity work. And it's fully virtual. So no matter if you are in London, I see we have some people from India. Some of you are from Ghana, Kenya, US, UK, everywhere. Birmingham, it's okay. You can partake of this event virtually, right? We'll have 5 core things. Number 1, we'll have courses. You'll have access to courses, like what you would log in on the online academy and you will watch videos where I break down those 5 steps for you more. You have access to courses on branding, courses on wealth creation, courses on marketing, on social media marketing, on so many, like my courses. People have paid thousands, in fact, hundreds of thousands of naira for before. You will be getting them for near free. So you have the course content, you will have the monthly group coaching calls. So every month, every once in a month, you will have me to yourself. I'll take your questions. You would run your ideas by me, any life change, any life challenges, emotional challenges, anything, destiny, purpose, clarity. I will be on the call to take you. So 1 Friday in a month, you have me. Then you will have an assigned mentor. We would assign mentors to you. Some of you, we called you already, right? we assign mentors to you that will have you in a group of 10, 20 maximum. Your mentor is your go-to friend, non-judgmental, understands you, listens to you, your go-to friend. So we assign a mentor, you'll be in a group, you have a mentor who would be catalyzing conversations with you and, you know, helping you to talk, helping you to learn, helping you to read, and so on. And then we have a community, okay, a community of people like yourself. There'll be a chat room there. We'll all be on the community online, right? And we're all inspiring ourselves, coming up with transformational conversations that will really shift things for you. And then you would have an accountability partner, somebody who will hold you accountable, right, to your daily activities. And then every other week, we would have guest mentors. Every other week, we would have guest mentors who you know, who are rich, like the ones you've seen now. So imagine us bringing Dami again. That's it. Sorry, Pastor Dami again. You know, I mean, in another 2 weeks. Imagine us bringing DSA again, or bringing Mr. Jimi again, or bringing Sam, you know, again, like every 2 weeks for the entire 6 months. That means you have access to about 12 mentors in 6 months. Please tell me, do you think your life will be the same again after such a 6 months? Let me ask you. Do you think that your life will be the same again after such a 6 months? I want to hear from you. Give me your comments. Let me hear from you. So say, no way, never. Oh God. Thank you, Ayodele, for giving the summary. Yes, the courses on branding, course creation, marketing, you know, wealth, I didn't say course, wealth creation, marketing, monthly coaching with me, right? And assign mentors, you know, community, and then guest mentors every other. Yes, a perfect team would occur. Absolutely. Never, never, never. Exactly. Exactly. Now, guess what? You have access to this opportunity to get into this for what is also ridiculous. You wouldn't even believe it. That is that affordable. Number one, we have the free plan. Okay. We have the free plan where you'd have access to the replays of this 4 days boot camp, right? Because normally in under 24 hours, you pull down all the old videos, but you will have access to all the replays. Then you also have access to the last edition's replays as well. Yes. So that's about 10 content from 10 amazing mentors for free. Then we have an online community on our online academy and also on Telegram for free. So in the community, you are interacting, you're chatting, you're connecting. Maybe you even meet your spouse in the community, who knows? Right? Then we give you discount fee to access our annual live conference. Yes, we'll be having a TMH live conference by June ending early July of this year to mark our 1 year of, you know, what's it called now? 1 year of launching. Yes. You know, of being founded. Yes. So that's actually, so you have access to the live conference at a discount fee. Then you will be getting weekly transforming mentoring notes, emails from me. Every week, look out for my email every week on Friday, right? I will send you an email and I'll be sharing life with you in terms of life, marital, parenting, career, money making, marketing, sales, purpose, everything happening. I will share a mentoring email with you. We call it the mentoring notes. So this, like I'm giving you, you know, something to go and nibble on. You have access to this for free. If you don't read anything during the week, just close your eyes, open it on Friday morning to read the mentoring notes from me. Okay? 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 Good. And then we now have what we call the gold access. Gold access has everything I have just laid out now. Those 4 things I laid out now. That is the access to the replay, to the online community, our live conference, right? So that means you have free access to our annual live conference, free. You won't pay a dime, and we will bring amazing people again to join us, right? The weekly mentoring emails from mentoring note from me. That's 4 things. Now, if you are on the gold access, you will get all these 4 things plus the live mentoring session with me every month. Live mentoring session plus the replay. You will get the training courses I told you about earlier on. That is those courses, you know, with the on branding, on marketing, on social media market management, on wealth creation, on speaking, authoring your book. I'll teach you how to, you know, I have a course titled License to Print Money. How do you create your own ebook? I'm opening my entire vault to you, and you will see all the courses that you will consume month by month, month by month. Then you have access to coaching resources, coaching tools. You know, you have access to monthly guest experts, right? And you'd have access to a dedicated mentor, right? That means you're somebody in the group, in a group coaching, you have that mentor that would be there for you. That is all you will get, like phenomenal. You will get all of that in the gold plan. We now have the diamond plan, where you will get everything in the gold plan, plus peer-to-peer accountability partner. Yes, right? And then we'll send you a Transformers Mentoring Hub mesh. That is a t-shirt and a cap and a water bottle, right? Yes. And they will now add you to a private group where you will get, I can hear myself. What did you say?
I said, this is a cheat. This is no.
You have to admit yourself to say this is a cheat.
Yes.
Oh, goodness. So this is legacy work for me. This is the work I want to speak for me when I'm at my grave or when I'm on my deathbed. I want this work to speak for me. So this is me fulfilling the last parts of the blessings that God gave humankind and said, be fruitful, multiply, have dominion, and replenish. Replenish. Replenish means once something has been taken out of something, you add more to it, you add to it. So some 18 years ago, somebody gave to me as a young person. They organized a live event at Unilag. Unilag Hall, as at then, used to cost over 500,000 naira to rent. Yet they bought a speaker to speak. They gave us food. They gave us water. And I did not pay a dime. Yet it was a catalyst for me. So I have taken from the system. I was 18 years old. Now I am pouring back into the system. That's what I'm doing right now. So I'm going to the ends of the earth to make things happen. See, if I show you my schedule, you'll be like, Kotemi. No. Just be sleeping. Go and face your work. But I'm like, no. Since I got this revelation, it consumed me. I informed everybody who is who in my life. I called them. Say, Pastor Niyi, Adesonya, said, see, this is eating me up. Bishop Febi Dedahosa, I called him. This is eating me up. Prince Fowowe, Bankole Williams, Steve Harris. I called everyone, Reverend Sam Oye, everyone who is who in my life. They did not hear word. I was just calling them and saying, this is this, I want to do this, and they were giving their blessings. In fact, Bishop Feb said, tell me when it's time, let me know. I know I will push this out for you. We would even sponsor people into the program for him. Like, wow, wow, wow. Now we are writing proposals to get funding. Do you know why? Because we need money to run this thing. So we will build a platform. We will build websites. We will build what now? We will build mobile apps. And guess what? Even this free bootcamp that you're getting here, I spent over 200,000 naira to run adverts, Facebook ads to get you here. Yes, see, how many of you are on the Zoom call? For the two of you, 40 of me and Jennifer, we are the two on top. 40 of you. The person who did the website was paid. The person who wrote the copies, I paid him about 150,000 naira for the copies. Even the flyers, even the video recording, the video editing for the ads, all those things. These guys here, there is the payment going into that relationship, even if not cash. There is, you are owing somebody next time. Absolutely, so it's for free for you, but it's being paid for, it's being covered by some other person. So I hope you all will take advantage of this opportunity to be on the gold or to be on the diamond. We would share the link for you to sign up tomorrow. You have the opportunity, and then the mentoring program starts April. So the moment we open cards, we would run it for about, maybe open it for like 3-4 days, especially to come in. And once you come in, we shut the door, and then we start the mentoring program by April. So let me share with you
I'm going to say, Coach, that you've not told us how much the gold.
How much? I know I haven't. I know I haven't. So I want to share a page with you and just show you all that you will be getting during the program, right? Let me just enlarge this a bit so that you can see what you get. So, yes. So per semester means per 2 months, okay? A session is 6 months, all right? So let me share my screen with you and show you what you have coming. So this is it. We have the basic plan, which is free. You have free access. I hope this is clear enough. If not, just slant your video, your phone, and then you can remove the chats, close the chats, right? And then by horizontally, you see the whole view. So you should be able to see where I said access to the replay of TMH 4-day bootcamp, plus past edition. You can see online community on the app and Telegram. You will see free access to TMH annual live conference. Then we have weekly mentoring notes from me, right? Then we now have the gold per semester, that is 2 months. Okay, let me put this here, 2 months. If you want to be paying every 2 months, that's fine. You pay 20,000 naira, that's 10K per month. That is unbelievable for all you're getting. Even if just my 1 month coaching call alone is worth more than 10,000 naira. And the guest experts would bring for you twice in a month. That means in 2 months, you will get 4 mentoring experts, and then you will get, 4 mentoring experts, guest experts, and you get 2 sessions with me in 2 months, and you're paying, how much is that per person? Maybe 2,000 naira per person.
So, Coach, I have seen a few comments, people saying that even in landscape, they are struggling.
It's not clear.
So I was wondering if you can zoom your page.
Okay, let me try to zoom to 100%. How is this now?
Maybe let's do 1.2, 125%.
Okay. But I can see it at my end though. What kind of phone are you people using? Okay, so this is, but it's not capturing the full thing here now.
No, but I can see everything, I think.
Okay, so guys, can you see it now?
The last thing is dedicated resident mentor.
So it's not showing the last one, the monthly coaching. Okay, you know what? Let me just, don't worry. Let me do this. Okay, because it's the same thing here. Oh no. Yes, so now can you see this?
Yes, we can.
All right, now. Okay, so please, can you see this? I hope you can. Just let me know in the comment if you can see it.
Then something else I'll say, the 3 dots on the far right.
Hold on. Let me share again.
Okay.
Which 3 dots is that?
So on the far right, where your
far right,
where
right.
the W is.
Yes, what happened to it?
That's the side. You can zoom that page without, yes, to see if that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm zooming it, but it's not losing something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But it actually looks clear on my phone.
Yes. So guys, let me know if you can see it. I mean, this is the whole thing. Come on now, you should be able to see it. So do a screenshot of this. Do a screenshot of this. Do a screenshot of this. I think this is big enough for you to see. Yeah. Okay. Do a screenshot of this. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now. So that's all the amazingness you'll be getting, right, for 6 months. You can choose to pay, twice, every 2 months, and then 20K for entire thing, access to the training courses, access to coaching resources and tools. And if you know me, I'm a tools girl. Workbooks that I will give you, the workbooks, the templates, the worksheets. If you've ever purpose discovery workbook, business validation workbook, business idea workbooks, like I'll pass on to you, the monthly guest, not even monthly, bi-monthly guest experts, right? So we'll bring you the best of the best, right? We'll have book reviews on the online community, right? Then here, everything in the gold, plus peer-to-peer accountability, the Transformers mesh. We'll send you a mesh. We'll send it to you if you're within Nigeria. Okay, we have the t-shirts, we have the water bottle and the cap. Then also you now get a private group quarterly mentoring conversation with me and a guest expert. So this is for those who are paying for, at a go, 6 months. All right. So I hope that is clear to everyone now. I hope this is clear to everyone now. And everyone has seen that, okay? So it's now blurry. Okay, can't see. Okay, anyway, that's fine. Okay, I think our guest is in. I see a name. Jennifer, can you please take on the meeting?
Yes, please.
I'm
right,
not sure.
thank you.
Yes, that's him. He has renamed himself. Yes.
Thank you so much for that explosive, session, and also just sharing with us how we can keep momentum after these 4 days. I know it has been an amazing 4 days, but just like you said, we need to keep up the momentum. Today is not ended yet. We have our second speaker in the house. Make some noise. Transformers, let's see the fire emojis in the chat. Let's see the fire emojis in the chat. Right now, I'm going to be bringing up I know yesterday somebody said, before we announced the switch, somebody said, please, I can't wait. I want to hear what the neurologist has to say. Now the wait is over, quite literally, because right now I'm going to be bringing up the director of Southwest Neurology and a neuroscience lecturer at the University of New South Wales. See, guys, Coach Tewe already said that you may be here for free, but there's so much payment that is going on, so much sacrifices. He's 12 hours ahead of us, so you can imagine what his time zone is and the sacrifice he's making to be here with us Nigerian time. His research has won him many awards, including the prestigious Gold-Set Young Investigator Award presented by the American Association of Neuromuscular and Electrodiagnostic Medicine. Niyi Borire is the founder and host of Brain, Mind, and Change, BMT, an online series which combines his scientific background and pastoral assignments to teach leaders how to achieve mastery of their brain, rewire their mind, and change their world. You are a transformer, so you know you're here to receive the resources and the tools to help you on your journey. Dr. Niyi Borire has also completed training in neuroscience of leadership at MIT, Boston, USA. He's an Amazon best-selling author. He has written 4 books, including his autobiography titled Navigating Change: Timeless Secrets for Growth in an Ever-Changing World. Earlier this year, Niyi Borire also founded Changemakers International Book Club, a non-profit which provides a platform for published and unpublished writers worldwide to share literary work and a creative environment that inspires confidence. He's blessed with 2 wonderful boys, Dan and Ethan, and of course, married to his gorgeous, gorgeous wife. Transformers Mentoring Hub, I hope that you guys are putting the fire emoji because I'm not looking at the chat right now.
The fire. I'm seeing it.
Yeah. I like the fire. Keep it coming. And I'm just right now. I'm bringing up our guest speaker for tonight, Dr. Niyi Borire, for his session. Welcome him, Transformers. I know he can't see your chat just yet, but we can, and we're feeling your energy.
Welcome, Doc. It's such an amazing opportunity and a privilege to be hosting you. Would you please stop sharing his picture? When you were supposed to share it, you did not see it. Okay, yeah. Now we can see it. Thank you so much for coming, Doc. God bless you.
Thank
it's
you
early Sunday morning, your time, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's 6:30 a.m. And I know you tried reaching me earlier, but yeah, I had a late night, so I didn't see the message on time.
Wow, thank
you for having me. Thank you for having me here. For me, it's a great privilege to be here to share with you guys. And I know it's been a while. We've been looking forward to this for a while. So I'm really excited about what we're going to be talking about today and the interactions we're going to be having. It's going to be an amazing time. And I hope that you get value from here. I know that you're getting value already, and there's a lot more value to be available here. So I'm sure that you would all be mightily blessed. So once again, thank you so much for having me here. All right. So today I will be speaking on my journey to purpose. All right. And I'll be sharing with you some of my habits and principles that have really helped me this far. All right. And that's what I'll be talking about today. All right. Now you've heard about my bio. If you were to ask me that, how would I sort of introduce myself? Can you hear me? Am I clear enough? Can you guys hear me?
You're crisp, clean, clear.
Yeah, great. So if you were to ask me that, who is Niyi Borire? In a very simple way, if I had to summarize that bio, I would say Niyi Borire is a change maker. All right. I would say Niyi Borire is a change maker. Niyi Borire is a change agent. Niyi Borire is a change leader. My purpose is change. That's it for me. All right. And I'll just describe a few things to you so that you'd understand. And I'll probably just take you through a journey, and I'll probably storify it so you can connect with it. All right. So using some practical examples. All right. Now, I didn't just become a change leader or a change maker overnight. No. It started by me, first of all, experiencing change. That's why when I wrote my first book, I titled it Navigating Change. Am I allowed to show the book?
Of course you are, Doc.
Yes, so Navigating Change. Now, there's a reason why I put the title Navigating Change. All right. Because, change is universal, change is irresistible, change is a phenomenon, a force that cannot be hindered. All right. And for a lot of us, we go through changing situations and circumstances. And maybe that's why you're here in this mentoring hub, because you're going through radical change and you're frustrated about the results. The most frustrating thing is when change happens and you can't grow. Like John Maxwell says, a change is a time of growth, not the time to grow. And for a lot of people, what they do is to groan and mumble, and they just don't produce results. That's what I hope this program, this Transformation Hub, will deliver for you, an opportunity for you to grow in a time of change. External change, internal change, change that is beyond your control, like COVID-19. All right. I had a friend who lost 85% of her business just from COVID-19, and she had to learn and to adapt and to adjust in a way that would maintain and deliver growth. So one of the biggest challenges we have is how do I maintain sustainable growth? How do I sustain my growth? All right. My personal growth, my organizational growth, all right, growth in all areas of my life, despite rapidly changing circumstances that are beyond my control. All right, that's one. Then number two question is another higher dimension, is how do I create my own change? All right, and that was what started for me. So the first thing for me was understanding how to navigate the change that I could not control. There are a lot of things that happen to us that are beyond our control. There are a lot of things that we do not have agency over. There are a lot of things that happen in our lives that we cannot direct the pace, the tempo, or the manner in which these things unfold or reveal themselves. It's just beyond us. It wasn't my fault that my parents didn't get along. It wasn't my fault that your marriage collapsed. It wasn't my fault that my father's printing business, he had a massive printing firm. My father used to get defense contracts when they were in Dundon Barracks, those days in the early 80s or late 70s. He used to pray. I remember he would tell us he printed the Nigerian Constitution. To hear that my father had a dinner with Abacha, all right, when, in those early days of the military government of Nigeria, it was amazing. My father used to print all the JAM forms and the JAM exams. It was a printer for JAM, all right? So the UME examinations, their forms and everything. I remember that every Christmas, my father would buy like maybe 50 to 100 rams, not Christmas, the Muslim, whatever festival, because a lot of the people giving contracts.
Salah, right?
Salah, yes. You would just distribute everything, all of that at the time. But when his business collapsed and everything changed around for him, it was not, I was a kid. It wasn't my fault that those things happened. And I could not understand or control why we suddenly, I was in a private school, and within the term, I was in a public school with no chemistry teacher, with no roof. I couldn't understand those drastic changes that my parents apparently were getting along, even though they had structural issues. But of course, money covers a lot of defects in marriages. And then once the money dries out, that's when, you know, all the white garment people and all the prophets and prophetesses start showing up about, you know, what the cause of the problem is. And of course, a lot of all those things are beyond my own control. You know, a lot of those things I could not control. I could not determine what happened in my home. I could not determine our finances. I could not determine the economy of the country at the time. There were a lot of things that we could not control. So we went from being high upper middle class, so upper middle class, to just being no class. All right. So we went from there to a sort of extreme poverty, to the point that my father left home with my mom. My mom used to be a supervisor in NITEL. My mom would tell me of their dates in the 70s. Man, Nigeria has fallen so bad. They were middle class. My father would just rock up to NITEL office in Ikoyi those days on a Friday with 2 tickets to London for a weekend. Date. All right. So, oh my God. 2 tickets to London on a date. My mom would not have told her mom, because my mom was the last one. She was only living with her. I'm going to inundate you with stories today. So please let me know when my time is up, because I've never even started. I'm warming up. So she would pick up, my dad would pick up my mom on a Friday. All right. They'll go to Levantis stores or something, pick up some, you know, clothes or whatever, off to the airport, visa free. Those days, it was travel to England was visa free. All right. No visa. Just take your passports straight to the airport, off to London. By Monday morning, she'll be back at work. All right. And so when my mom would tell me that when they were, you know, in the early stages of their marriage and when they were engaged, they had been to Belgium, Luxembourg, London, France, Paris. They'll take a train from England to, you know, from London to Paris and all that. Those days, this was not for the rich. They were middle class. My father was just a manager in Mint, the people that print money. He was a printer. So I was a manager in print. My mom was a supervisor in NITEL, and they were average. They were like average Joes, you know. When she was pregnant with, you know, me, she did all her shopping in UK, in London. All right. So they did all the baby shopping in London. They, you know, those days there was no pressure to have babies there. You know, you just come back home, you know, because everything was so smooth and easy. Do you understand? So we went from that kind of level to, as I said, from upper middle class to sort of low class. And a lot of those things I could not control. A lot of those things I could not change. I couldn't control the fact that at the age of 6, I was in a house of a friend, and the woman in that house, they sexually assaulted me. I couldn't control that. I could not determine the outcome of that experience. And I still remember what it looked like. I still remember what that experience felt like. I still remember what we were like under the covers. Up till now, you know, almost 4 decades now, I still remember. And the first time I opened my mouth to talk about this was when I wrote this book. And I knew my mom, you know, everybody was going to know. So I had to tell my wife first, and then I told my mom. My mom couldn't believe it. I told no single soul. If I tell you how many sexual assault victims have reached out to me personally to tell me my uncle did this to me, and no one knows. It's just the 2 of us that knows. The number of people that have told me, you'll be amazed how pervasive this thing is. The last person that told me it was our own uncle that did it. Somebody that was like a father figure to them, who was an elder in the church. All right. But I couldn't control all of those things. So there's a lot that happens in life that you cannot control. So your first assignment, so I'm going to my journey to being a change maker. My first assignment was to navigate change. That's why this book is Navigating Change. That life sometimes is unfair. And I could not determine the circumstances that I was exposed to. So I had to learn how to navigate to changes that were occurring in my family, in our finances, in my education, in every single situation. I had to navigate it. I went from a private secondary school, all right, that was exclusive, all right, to being in a public secondary school where we paid nothing, to the point that when I wanted to do my WAEC, We could not afford 2,000 naira. My father was no longer in the picture. My mom had no job. Remember, she was a night supervisor. For over 10 years, she was making babies. She left work because my father's business was thriving. She had stopped working for a very long time. All right. So she couldn't find work. And those days, to work in NITEL, you need school certificate. That's all. She didn't even go to university. All right. So now she was there, you know, almost 40, over 40, stuck with 5 kids and couldn't work. So she will go to the abattoir in Lagos to work, to pick up scraps, to fight for stuff and sell. She will come with us those stinky feet every night, smelling. All right. But then she would be able to put food on the table. I remember the Christmas we had where we had nothing, Christmas Day. My mom could not look at our eyes. All of us just watching each other, nothing to eat on Christmas Day. She walked out of the door to hustle. I don't know what she did. I don't know how she did it. She came back with green unripe plantain. We peeled it, so hard to peel unripe plantain. Peeled it, boiled it. All we had was palm oil. Christmas morning, we dipped it in palm oil. We ate. We stayed, we played, that was what we did until that night when our neighbors brought rice and brought stuff. I'm like, that was the first meal. So I've got a 10-year-old kid now who's going to be 11 next week, all right, who has no understanding what it means to wake up in the morning as a kid and have nothing to eat. And you look to your parents and your parent is helpless. I'm a parent now, I've got 2 boys. I can't imagine the heartbreak that my mom will feel when we were hungry. My kid comes in here, and for the record, my second kid doesn't care when I'm in meetings, okay? So if he badges in as the boss, all right? So I apologize for that, all right? If he comes here and he says, hey, Dad, I want this, all right? He does not understand the concept of not having, be able to provide those basic things. They don't understand. They can't, I don't, you know, if you've not experienced it, you've not. And mine is not the worst of trials. So I'm not coming here to gather you for a pity party. That's not why we're here. All right, I'm not trying to seek for you. I'm okay. I've done well. You see, I'm okay. I'm fine. So don't pity me. That's not the aim of this. What I'm trying to do is to just tell you the journey. All right, that Niyi Borire did not just drop. So I've simplified my bio. Niyi Borire is a change maker. I make change, but I didn't just start. I wasn't born as a change maker. I had to first of all learn how to navigate change that happens beyond my control before I can create my own change. I have to understand the concept of navigating change before I can create and make my own change. So my job as a change maker is to create other change makers. That's my job. My job is to help people create their own desired change. But I didn't start there. I started with navigating change. And what God told me was that I want you to help people navigate change without losing their identity, their individuality, and their purpose. So how can I go through change without losing my purpose? How can I go through change without turning my back on what works or what God has told me, without leaving my assignment? How can I? And I'm not sure whether I'm allowed to share scriptures here because I know this may not be a sort of a spiritual meeting, but I'll give the example. Yeah, I'll give the example of Abraham. When God told Abraham to leave his father's house and leave everything, and he left, Abraham was okay. Abraham was probably upper class. He left with all that he had to a land that God will show him. He got to that land, and right while he was in the center of the will of God, there was famine in the land. How does that make sense? That you leave a place of comfort to a place of desperation, a place of death, a place of famine. So Abraham was there from abundance to like, they couldn't till the ground. So Abraham looked for an alternative. Abraham went away. The Bible says, and Abraham went down to Egypt. All right. So when they tilled the ground and they were, you know, some of you are right in the center of God's will. You're right where you should be. You're in the center of your purpose, but it's so dry, so hard. You're not seeing results. You're not getting anything. But you know, I'm supposed to be, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, but you're not getting results. And because of the impatience, you don't know how to navigate change without losing your purpose, because there's no one to mentor and teach you and encourage you and build your confidence so that you stay and you till the ground like Isaac in the time of famine. All right. So Abraham went down to Egypt. Guess what? He made it in Egypt. And some of you are going to walk away from your purpose and you're going to make it. And you are going to be the negative ads that other young people will see of how to make it in life is to walk away from your purpose. How to make it in life is to walk away from the center of the will of God for your life. That was exactly what happened to Abraham. Abraham walked away from Canaan. Abraham went to Egypt and he became rich in cattle. He was rich. He was blessed. Remember, the first thing he did was not to build an altar. The first thing he did in Egypt was to lie that his wife was his sister. He started with compromise. There was no record in Egypt that he prayed. There was no record in Egypt that he did anything spiritual. There was no record in Egypt he had any connection, but he was making money. He had, guess what? He had thousands of slaves. One of those slaves was a tiny little 13 to 14-year-old girl called Hagar. She was a tiny little small girl. She had only breastbuds. She had nothing. She was just an ordinary slave that her poor parents would have just probably sold her out to slavery. But she was a time bomb. Because 20 years later, when Abraham had now repented, when he had now remembered that he was not an Egyptian, when he had remembered the promise, when he had remembered everything, he went back out of Egypt. He went back. And now he repented. The Bible says he built an altar in Bethel. He repented and said, oh, yes, now, this is it. But there was a seed already there that was sown in the name of Hagar. And Hagar's story is also fascinating. That was our latest book, Hagar. Hagar, Unloved and Unwanted. I love this lady's story because it's a story of navigating change. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to stand in Hagar's shoes and tell Hagar's story because Hagar's story has not been well told, in my opinion. All right, this was a girl who was taken away from her parents without her fault. It wasn't her fault that she was sold to slavery. It wasn't her fault that she ended up in a man's house. Guess what? Abraham was old enough to be her great-grandfather. Abraham was almost 100. If you remember, if you've read the Bible and you remember the conversation between Abraham and Sarah about Hagar, about having a child, they didn't consult her. They just thought, they had a promise. Abraham said, God had given me a promise. Sarah could not help, they were not patient again. They were not patient to receive the promise. So they had a conversation and Sarah offered, I'll get one of my young girls. By that time, Hagar was beautiful, Egyptian beauty. Oh, fine. But she was beautiful, plumpy, everything well blessed. And then you imagine I just imagine that conversation that morning. Sarah would have called Hagar, hey, come tonight. You're staying in Papa's house, in his room. It's like, Mama, what is happening? No, don't worry, you're staying there. You're going to help me have a baby. What would she say? So the conversation about her pregnancy was made without her being involved in it. Do you think she had a choice? And so that night, a man that she never reached, she wasn't dealing with, because she was Sarah's slave. She would have had not a lot to do with Abraham. And those days, the men would go out to the farm, they only come at night. What are the chances that Abraham knew about Sarah? Very little. Until that night when she saw a naked, beautiful Egyptian, maybe bronze skin right on the bed. Of course, he did his own thing. She couldn't. Do you think she enjoyed it? Maybe not. Her mind was probably just wandering away while he was doing his thing. She was probably in pain because she never wanted it. Maybe she was a virgin, who knows? Probably. She was probably a virgin. And there was this old man doing his own thing. It would not have been pleasurable for her. She was not in love with him. Imagine sleeping with somebody you were not in love with. She was not in love with him. She was doing it as a duty. You imagine you turn it up to work and your boss said you had to do that. It's crazy. She got pregnant. And then Sarah started treating her so bad. She wanted to run away. God said, no, you can't run away. Come back. Go back. And then when she had the baby, just imagine when the baby was about 30, a young boy at the age of 13, Abraham just woke up one day because Sarah said, listen, the way this boy, and what happened, they had a party to circumcise and to win off to Isaac, like a growing up party. And in that party, Ishmael, the bigger brother, was making jest of him and playing with him, and Isaac was hungry. So Sarah saw that interaction and said, no, this boy has to go. And she told Abraham, and Abraham was upset, but Abraham has to listen to Mama. All right. So Abraham woke her up. Look at the way they dismissed her. Abraham woke her up, gave her some bread, gave her some water, and said, please leave. Abraham sent away his son, his first son, with no security. Remember, this lady was about 20 years ago when she left Egypt. She was a young kid. How would Hagar find her way back to Egypt? She's a single mom. Those days, single moms. How do you think she would have been dealt with? Imagine, that's a single mom. Baby mama, what do they call it? With no job, with nothing. Just a few supplies of bread and water in the desert, hot desert. Is that not assassination? You imagine, that's what I thought about it, that Abraham, man, if you're going to send somebody away, you know, when you wanted to get a wife for your daughter or for your son, we know the contingency, what do you call this now? The convoy. You know, we know the convoy that Eliezer, the servant, went. Hello. Go on, okay. So it went with a convoy. It was different. But right now, Hagar was being sent out of the house with no ceremony, with no, you know, there was really nothing going on. There was no drama. There was no support. She was just sent out of the house. And of course, as expected, what happened quickly after that? Everything ground to a halt. All right. She exhausted all her supplies. And immediately she exhausted all her supplies, she had nothing more to do and nothing more to feed the kid with. And she couldn't bear to see her son die. So she put him under the shrub and went crying she was going to die. Oh, crying. I can't, let me just stop that story there. But you could see that a lot of the things that happened to Hagar were things that we were able to control. That morning when Hagar woke up, Hagar wasn't thinking of being homeless, jobless. Because that's what they did. They sacked her. She was working. So that morning she woke up jobless, homeless, and her son became fatherless. All in one day. All right. And here she was without supplies, frustrated. So listen to me, life happens that way. I can't see all the audience here, but it looks like they're on another platform. Is that correct? They're on another platform. Okay, good. So just want to make sure
yes, they're streaming live on YouTube.
Oh yeah, fantastic. Okay, fair enough. Okay, but yeah, that's good. I like your reactions though. Yeah. So
do you want a link? Maybe you can view the link on your phone or something.
Okay, yeah, I don't mind. So maybe from time to time I can also have a look. You can just share with me on WhatsApp so I can just get in touch with them.
Do that now, yeah.
Yeah. So you know, that's one very fascinating thing about Hagar that really caught my attention. And I thought, okay, yeah, I will look at. Let me just. I think I've got the link now. Great. Yeah. Fantastic. Thanks so much for that. So the point there that I'm making, which is very important, very valid point, is that you cannot create change if you've not learned how to navigate change. You cannot create your desired change if you've not learned to navigate your own desired change. Write that down. You cannot create your own desired change if you have not learned how to navigate your own desired change. And those undesired changes are, you know, inevitable. They would occur to you. They would occur and they would paralyze you at times. But you have to find a way that, how can I go through this in my journey to purpose? Because that journey can be quite frustrating. And that journey can hinder you, or that journey can actually break you. It's very, very important for you to understand this, that if you're going through change that is beyond your control, your assignment is to navigate through that change without losing your identity, your individuality, and of course, your purpose. So I had always known that I was going to be someone that would care for people. I'd always known that I had that in me. Okay, I knew that I just wanted to be talking to people, encouraging people, lifting people up. That was something that I think I knew that from when I was quite young, that was something I wanted to do with my life. Unfortunately, I did not have the tools required to do that. All right. Once I left primary school, high school, and I went to this public school, I am telling you, my vocabulary deteriorated like with the speed of light. And then my confidence was gone. I was academically gifted though. You know, I'd finished primary school at the age of 8. You know, I went to secondary school before my 9th birthday. I was in JSS1 before my 9th birthday, finished my secondary education at 14 plus. And by my 15th birthday, I was in a higher institution. So I was precocious. I was quite fast. And by the age of 16 plus, I'd already had my OND, and 17, I was in medical school. So even though I was precocious, which was what I had academic gifting, academic, prowess. That was something I had. Now, I'm not technically sound. Even up till now, I don't like physical work. Like I can be on this computer like this and just continue talking on this transformation hub for till tomorrow. I can be here. I will talk. I'll watch a bit of YouTube. I'll read some books. I'll do some research. And on this seat, my wife will have to beg me to come and eat. I could do that. But if she asks me to come and fix a door or something is whatever, or she'll say, oh, please, can you help me screw this thing? Get a screwdriver or hammer. That's not me. All right. That's not me. I'm not, when we bought this house some years ago, we built it. I was so keen. Our lawn was, lush green lawn. So I went to the store, the hardware store, and I brought this lawnmower. And I bought the one that had the engine with fuel. You put petrol, and then you run along like like the men do in the neighborhood in the suburbs. So your neighbor is cutting his lawn. You get a bigger machine like that. I got the top range machine. I bought almost the whole section of the hardware store, the edger, the trimmer, every part, everything I needed to make my lawn. Fertilizer, lawn food, everything. All the things I did not even need. The blower that I could have gotten a simple blower, I got the most powerful blower that to blow all the leaves and everything. The first day I tried lawn mowing the lawn, I spent like 4 hours. All my hands were sore. It looked like a dog's breakfast. The lawn was like a caterpillar just destroyed the whole place. With all my money, I realized that, oh boy, it's not about, so that was when I knew my calling, that this thing, I calculated how much, if I was working for 4 hours, I know how much money I would earn. Why will I spend 4 hours? You know what? And I'll be miserable for the rest of the day. I will get home. I will be miserable, cranky, sore everywhere, my hands all blistered, over lawn. The next time the lawn got up, I called somebody to come and do it for $40. The guy did a perfect job. It was clean. That was his job. The guy did all this. It was perfect. I was like, my God, do you know what? I gave away the machine, everything. Kia. I told him, take it away, because it was just taking space in my shed. I never touched that thing again. Never ever. I said, no, let my neighbors, let them impress themselves. I'm not fighting a suburban dad's or father's war. I'm not doing father's war with you. That who has the best lawn. I'll just get somebody to do it for me. Those 4 hours, I'll be here writing a book or doing something more productive, or just even hanging out with my kids. All right. I don't even know I got to talking about my lawn war with my neighbor, but guess what now? Guess what? My neighbor
Yes.
now. Sorry, what was it?
Your academic prowess. So when it's brain work, you're good at it. But if it's physical work, you don't touch it. See, it's not in your purpose.
No. Well, you don't have a choice. I have to do a little bit of it. I'm just not. I don't enjoy it. But I don't have a choice. I have to do things that I would have to go on YouTube. The last time I tried to change a door handle, I had to go on YouTube. Oh my God, turn my head around. But the point there that I need to really emphasize to you, and I'm going back to the main point there, is that you cannot be a change maker if you don't know how to navigate change. You cannot create your own desired change if you've not learned how to navigate the undesired change. And you have to be able to do that without losing your purpose, your individuality, and your identity. I don't have time to talk about identity, individuality, and purpose, because they're completely different things. All right. Who you are, what makes you stand out, and why you're who you are. So your identity is who you are. Your purpose is why you are who you are. Your individuality is why who you are is unique. What is unique? What stands out about who you are? All right. Okay. And so a lot of people lose themselves. They lose why they are themselves. All right. And they even lose what makes them unique, their uniqueness. They lose it. They lose their ISP in a bid to fit in, or in a bid to adapt to change. All right. But there's a way, if you learn how to navigate whatever change you're going through, you will come out. All right. So I knew exactly what I wanted. I wanted to be in that space of helping people. But guess what? As I said to you, I went to secondary school. I didn't it wasn't the best secondary school out there. I finished secondary school. I still had a lot of A's and all sorts, stuff like that. And I was quite young. I was precocious. I had to mature early. My dad wasn't around. I was the first son. I became the father figure of the house. I was supporting my mom. My mom was hustling. She had a small business. When I mean small business, small kiosks that after every 6 months we have to restart because we will eat it down. When everybody comes for, when we come back from school and there's nothing to eat, you go to the kiosk, you just pick Indomie, you pick this, you pick that. In 6 months, the business will collapse. She will also again, go around everywhere, raise capital again. And it was just like an unending cycle. All right. And so in that moment, I remember getting to high institution, and it was crazy. I started with the Havard College of Technology. I was doing computer science there. And I remember in the mornings, I would go door to door, knocking on doors to ask for transport fare on our neighbors in our estate. Because, of course, there was no transport fare. My mom couldn't give me transport fare. And I had to get to Yaba from Ipaja. So I would start knocking on doors. This is in Lagos. I'm sorry for those who are not familiar with Lagos. And I remember one woman, she would consistently give me money. And, there were many days that what I would have is like 20 naira will be enough to get me to Yaba, will be enough to get me to Oshodi. By the time I get to Oshodi, I'll left with 5 naira. When I get to Oshodi, usually I take standing. And sorry to give you all of these details, but it's interesting. I just remember now, it's not in my script really. I got to Oshodi. I usually get to Oshodi, and when I get there, those days Oshodi was a really horrible place. This was in the 90s, late 90s. Oshodi was rubbish. Especially the Yaba bus terminus in Oshodi, where you get the Yaba bus, it's all muddy. And I had a keto sandal for my first year in Yaba College of Technology. I wore a blue keto sandal. Can you imagine? Keto. I'm not sure whether you guys know what keto is. The keto sandal was what I was wearing. I was in an institution. I had a pink shirt. I had only 2 shirts. One of them was a pink shirt. It was my father's shirt. I didn't have shirts. Pink shirt. It was oversized. So I used to roll it up here. And it had these straps here, like these North Korean soldiers, straps like this, and pockets, double breast pocket with straps like as if it was a military shirt. And it had a blue ink stain because one day I put my biro in there and it had stained it. So you see the pocket, was stained with ink. And that was what I was wearing. All right. I wasn't, of course, none of the ladies in the class didn't fancy me, I was the youngest in the class, and I was just like, everybody treated me like a kid, but I was the smartest too, and I'm not trying to be sort of proud, but yeah, I was the smartest. I finished with a distinction. I had the best results there. So I kind of thing. I was top 7 in Polyjam, I think in the country, top 5 in Polyjam in the country, or second. Yeah, I think I was the second, I had the second best score in the whole country that year. Anyway, I got to Yaba College because I didn't know about the JAM thing. I didn't even, I did the JAM, I passed it, but I just left it. I didn't even know there was no father figure. My mom was hustling. We didn't even know anything about that. We had to go to the University of Lagos to pursue things. So it was after the matriculation, we heard about that, admissions have closed and everything. So anyway, I couldn't even get in there. I was even chasing for microbiology and a few other courses I couldn't get, so I just left it. So Polyjam came, boom. That one, because I did so well, Yaba College of Technology just sent me a letter of admission straight away. Oh, boom. So I remember I'll get Oshodi, all right, a messy place, my legs full of mud, and want to enter, of course, you can't enter the small buses, so you have to take the more lower buses. I'm not sure whether they're still available, those whole buses. So when you get in there, if you want to sit down, it's 10 naira. If you want to stand, it's 5 naira. So you wait and wait and wait until it's full. When it's full, you're now rushing. With all those, with all due respect to all those traders, the Igbo traders, a lot of them, all of us will be messy. And now I'm going to the institution. I used to have a backo bag. So I have my books in a backo bag, I'll wrap it. And, that's what I took to high institution. It was a black backo sack bag, I wrap it with my books. We're rushing. One day, the bag tore all my books on the mud, on the floor. I'm telling you the truth. So I will wrap it, we'll rush it, and then you enter. And there were many times I didn't even have transport fare. I would beg conductors. I would just beg, I'm going to school. And then I will get there. I'll alight out from the bus. I'll alight from Jibo bus stop, and I will walk all the way to Yaba College of Technology. The first day I was able to afford a motorbike from Jibo to Yaba. I gave testimony in the campus fellowship. That was, thank God, I was able to afford a bike today. Everybody was laughing. They thought it was funny. But can you imagine? That was about my second year. That was about maybe 18, 19 months into I was almost rounding up. The first day I was able to afford a bike from Jibo I used to trek 10, 15 minutes from Jibo to the Yaba campus. And our computer science department was on the other side. of the campus. So you get in through, you go to the old campus to the other side, if you know about it, all right, the Akoka side, all right, and then you go back and all that. So why am I saying all of this? You know, it was difficult, it was hard, but then I would still go to school and I still had distinctions and I would still study. I knew there was something, I knew there was something higher. I'll be with my colleagues. I remember the first day we were in school, people would stand up, all right, they will ask every introduction. This person stood up. Hi, I am Kingsley, blah, 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 from King's College. Hi, I'm some from Girls College. I'm this from Federal Government College, Owerri. When they got to my turn, I'm like, who would know my school? I just said, I am Niyi Borire from Ondo State. Nobody even, I was so insignificant, nobody even pressed it for that. I said, thank God, nobody even asked me the name of my school. All right. But at the end of the day, I knew what I had. I'll be with some of those guys where they'll be talking about politics and they'll be talking about sports, and I knew the answer. I knew that I knew more than them, but I wouldn't be able to talk because I had problems with my tenses. I had problems with is and was and are and were. So I had low self-esteem. I could not communicate properly. And those days I used to dream that one day I would stand before people and speak. One day I would stand before an international audience. All right. And I would speak. Yeah. One day, and I've got like a few moments, no problems. I'm just telling my story, okay? And I hope the story makes a difference to you guys. All right. And I used to have those dreams. 2016, just have writing up my PhD here in Australia. That was when I got the GoSet International Award as a third Australian to win that award. So they contacted me from the US and said, you won this award, blah, blah, blah. They flew me down to Phoenix, Arizona. And as I was I think I was the only black guy there. There was another black guy who is, I think, a rep or something. So as I was there, it was a massive conference, all right, in the United States, all right. And I was walking up the steps as I introduced, and they read my bio. I was walking up the steps and I stood on the podium. And I remember, the days when I could not talk. I remember the days when I could not interact with anyone. I remember the days when I could not communicate appropriately. And I had a dream that one day I'm going to stand before an international audience. I'm going to share and talk and, impart knowledge. So to have that opportunity that day, it just flashed across, my imagination. I was like, my dreams come true. Dreams come true. I stood before them that day and I finished my presentation. They stood up and gave me a round of applause. I walked off that stage really fulfilled. And they even gave me, I think, $2,000 cash speaking fee. That was the first time I got a speaking fee. It was $2,000 cash they gave me for that conference, speaking fee, of which, of course, I left there, the US. I came to Nigeria from graduating. That money did not even get back to me to Australia, $2,000. Finished within the moment I landed in Nigeria, that money finished. So what point am I making here? All right. And I know I've not given you any points. I've not given you any principles. I've just decided to storify my message in a way that connects with you. All right. One of the points I want to make, number one, very quickly, is that despite all the adverse events, despite all the challenges I faced, I was focused on what I was good at. I wasn't looking at what I did not have. I focused on what I had. And I knew I was academically gifted. So I walked and I wasn't looking at the bigger picture. All right. And so despite all of that, I would read, I would study, I would do all of that. All what was in my control. All right. Of course, I'd get home. I never had a room. We had a 3-bedroom unit apartment, of which I had no room. So I would sleep on the couch. Throughout that time, I had no room. All my stuff was in one Ghana must go bag at home. So that's when I left home at the age of 14. I never went back home up till now. I left that unit. Left at the age of 14. I went to Yabatech. From Yabatech, I didn't come home. Even during holidays, I'll just hang around and everything. Stayed on campus most times, except when campus was closed. And when I went to University of Lagos Medical School, of course, medical school is never closed. I was there till I left Nigeria. Never left again. Never went back home. All right. But what was really, really pertinent there was that I knew, even though I didn't know exactly what I'll be doing. I didn't know that I'll be here, but I knew exactly that I was going to be helping people, vulnerable people. And I knew that my experience and my story was going to be uplifting for others. And so I had that sense of knowing, and that knowing comes by insight, it comes by revelation, knowing what you're meant to do. Or I'm not going to go into teaching about purpose and all that. No, I'll leave that to Samuel Kodai and Co. I, but you will know exactly what you're meant to do. And that journey, it's a journey to find. For some people, they have to go through journey, they have to go through coaching, they have to go through mentorship, they have to go through read books to find out exactly to understand your why. So you need to know your why. You need to find your why. You need to find that why. And I knew that why, that I need to be doing something. But look at me. I went to computer science, studied computer science. I was doing programming and I did well. In fact, I had a distinction in one of mathematics and everything, calculus, and in programming, I did very well. The project, I had a B plus in my project. But guess what? I knew I wanted to be helping people. So I did jump again. All right. I did jump.
Wow.
I wanted to, I felt, okay, I'm going to give medicine a shot. Well, of course, I got into, medical school. And here I was again when I got to medical school. My parents couldn't pay for my fees. And I'm not going to go through all that story of how my Sunday school teacher in an Anglican church paid from my second year to my sixth year and gave me a monthly allowance. All right. Paid my way through medical school. So now my parents just paid for my medical education. It was a sponsor. It was somebody who was my teacher when I was in primary school. And we're now both Sunday school teachers in our church because I was in the Anglican church and we were both Sunday school teachers. He was teaching the senior class, I was teaching the junior class. And after service one day, he saw that I was sad and he walked up to me and I said I was dropping out of college. And he said, "You're not dropping out of college." And he picked it up at that time. And the rest is history. It broke the cycle of poverty in my family. It made a whole difference in my family. Just that single step. And he did it. Nobody, all the other people in the Sunday school department of the church did not know that this man was the one paying my fees. Nobody knew. The superintendent did not know. The priests did not know. All the other people did not know. My family, even for a long time, did not even know that it was the man that was responsible for what it was. He did it silently and he did it honorably. And it was the answer to my own prayers. Of course, I didn't have to still go to school. I had to work, I had to hustle. And of course, throughout that period in time, I started to, encounter the brain, while we were in medical school. And I was fascinated about the brain. And, we had a neuroanatomy, I had a distinction in neuroanatomy. And so I knew exactly, I love the brain. I love the complexity of the brain. I love the connections in the brain. I thought, what I want to do? I wanted to study the brain. So in my final year, I went to England on an exchange program. I got the Ajib All Scholarship, Ajib Scholarship. And I put that money, I went to England for an exchange program, National Hospital of Neurology and Neurosurgery, Queen's Square, that's with UCL, University College London. All right, here I was in a plane to Europe for the first time in my life. I was like, whoa, in London. And I went with my, my God, those old shoes and all that. It was my then girlfriend, my now wife, Olayemi. She went to buy some Gaba to buy some shoes. That shoe did not last 1 week in London before it like that. We just, she all her savings, she paid for all those things. She went shopping for me. She just came into my life at the time and everything. So I was going to England. I was in final year medical school. And I was like, wow, is it me that I'm here? All right. And I spent 6 weeks in England and, I enjoyed it. That was when I saw what it was like to practice abroad. That was the first time I saw what it meant first time I saw an MRI in my life, an MRI machine. We didn't have MRIs in Nigeria those days when I was in medical school. MRI. It's like, wow. It's like, I would come back here. So I applied, so they gave me an opportunity for a master's to study Masters of Clinical Neuroscience at UCL in London, but I couldn't get scholarship. I applied for scholarship. I wrote to people. I did everything. I couldn't get any funding. But while I was there, the student door opened, and well, the rest is history. Not only am I practicing neurology, I'm able to do it on my own terms. I'm able to own my own business. I'm able to now apply neuroscience into my coaching. And a lot of you are going to be seeing a lot of great things later this year when we launch our brand and neuroscience, neuroscience-based coaching, leadership coaching. And it just started to unravel, and that journey became clearer to me. clearer to me. And I didn't even know I was going to be operating in this space. Listen, 2 years ago, I was not on Instagram, or 18 months ago, I was not on Instagram. I was not on any of these things. I was not talking. I wasn't speaking. It was after COVID happened that I just felt that, okay, you know what? So I attended Philadelphia to Speak for Gold. I thought, yeah, you know, all of this thing makes sense. My background, my journey, all of these things make sense with my understanding of how the brain works. I've got a message for somebody. And so I found my voice there, and I felt, you know what, I'm a pastor. I pastor a church. My wife and I, 4 years ago, all right, we started a church. It's under the banner of the Redeemed Christian Church of God. So, you know, and the church has grown. And, you know, this morning, I'm preaching this morning in church, all right. And, you know, so everything looked okay. We were comfortable. We were doing well. We've settled. We've got a wonderful family. Our boys are doing well. My wife is okay. But then we just felt we needed something more. And I just felt in my heart I needed something more. And that was how this sort of journey evolved, all right, into where I am today. But I didn't just drop here as I round up now. I didn't just drop here. I went through a journey, and my journey included pain. It included setbacks, included disappointments, included me begging on the road for money. It included me begging, you know, for help. I've tried to summarize my story, and I decided not to give you principles and points today. I thought it'd be better to just tell you my story so that I will give you hope and inspiration. Mine is not the worst of trials. I'm not trying to sort of, you know, project that. I'm okay. And I said, don't feel bad for me. But I just hope that by sharing what I've shared with you about my personal life and some of the struggles I've gone through, you understand this. And I'm telling you, if you can successfully navigate your change. And remember those three things, you must never lose them. Never lose your purpose, find your why. And I'm not going to talk about that. Never lose your individuality and never lose your identity. If you can go through that, I'm telling you, you will then be able to create your own desired change. Now I can create my own desired change. Now I can project into the future. As I said, I'm starting a new brand. I'm starting a new career, a second career, all right, as a leadership coach and science-based leadership coach, all right. And it's, you know, this is something I enjoy. I enjoy talking to people, but not every people, leaders, executives, all right, change makers, other change makers. All right. So you've got to go through that process and that journey. I'll stop there. Thank you so much for having me.
Wow, Dr. Niyi, thank you. You know, when you said that you haven't shared principles, just gonna be sorry. My husband said, that's more than enough. Like he's watching you right now and he's glued to his system. And he's like, wow, what? Thank you. This story is enough for us to pick all our lessons. Now, who would have thought a young man who was shy, lacks confidence to introduce himself or even, you know, be out there, is the one who is speaking and you feel like licking his mouth now because of how he's speaking. God, you are a true definition of not letting our background put our back to the ground. I don't know how you put that thing, but you're such a definition of that. Thank you for the work you do. Thank you for coming to share your story. I'm just so inspired. I'm so inspired by your story. So inspiring. Thank you. I'm not even, I don't have the words. I'm not sure how to even. Let me try and get some of the comments that I can see on YouTube right now. Let me try and see. Oh, sorry. Let me see some of the things that the Transformers mentors transform. Yes, let me check. Yes, let me check some of the comments that are coming up there. And so, guys, if you have questions, now is a good time to drop it. It's not every day you have the opportunity to learn from a brainiac like Dr. D, right? People are saying, thank you so much, sir. This is inspiring. Thank you, sir. I'm thrilled and inspired. Thank you. What a session tonight. Oputa, thank you for saying that. You know, we had Sam Havard who came and shared his story too. The same thing that Dr. Indi is also doing as well. You know, I've heard him talk about his wife before, you know, and that was the day it struck me that, oh my goodness, you know, there's a place, yes, it was during Bankola's, one of Bankola's events, SOA. You came to share about your wife, how you met, her legs, her surgery. I'm like, whoa, you know, that was the moment I fell in love with you and the life that you're living. And I'm like, this is an amazing person. So when I was looking at, you know, how do I bring people to show what is possible, you know, out of sheer grit and sheer doggedness. Never say never, because you could have given up severally. You could have said, you know what, this school is not even working. Let me just carry pelt and be selling. And no one would have faulted you for doing that. No one would have condemned you for choosing the lower, you know, path. But you stayed through. You followed through the thick and thin. I've also heard a story where you once shared of how you had to forgive your father, right? And he was ill suddenly, and you had to bring some. Do you mind sharing that for a minute or two, please?
Yeah, I think the background to that was that, you know, my dad had left, and, you know, a lot of things happened in his absence. So I went through school in his absence, most of my university education, and I think I just had that resentment towards him. And my father was a traditional man, a traditional Ondo man, and with all due respect, Ondo people, I'm an Ondo man myself. But yeah, it was toxic. It was a wife beater. It would beat my mom to a pulp, you know. And my mom would not let go. My mom is not sort of innocent in all of this. Hey, my mom is in Australia at the moment. She's been here since the pandemic, and yeah, she's hot. Like, I don't go out with my mom. I don't take my mom, like, you know, my mom is with my sister. My sister is also here. So I've got two siblings here. My other sister is in Sydney and one sister is in Tasmania. So she's with my older sister in Tasmania with her kids. So they're coming to this week to Sydney. And I was telling my younger sister, you're the one taking mom out for shopping because she needs to do some shopping and all that. Because I can't go shopping with my mom. It's arguments.
Wow.
All right. And why I'm saying argument, it's not because we fight. It's just because my mom is a very independent woman. My mom can give you a story. And me, I'm a skeptic, a natural skeptic. And most neuroscientists are skeptics. All right. I want to understand why. So if my mom tells me a story about Baba Suwe, my next question is not, oh, my next question is, hey, how? Why? And my mom does not want to hear why. I tell you. So my mom was that kind of person. And that was one of the reasons why things were so toxic. So, but then my father felt all the problems were on her. He felt she was the cause of all his doom and everything. So he was absent. And of course, not only was he absent, he was making babies elsewhere. So he had two other children with another woman. And what that woman happened to me to be my mom's friend, sort of like acquaintance. So my mom was deeply hurt and we were deeply hurt. And I think being in that environment where none of them said anything positive about themselves. So every time I was with my dad, it would end up being about how horrible my mom was. And of course, my mom had deep-seated pain about all that my dad had done. And but my dad was a good man. I think he made good bad choices. This was a guy, if I tell you all the great things he's done in his life, you know, first son of 20-something kids, brought about almost 10 of his kids and brothers to Lagos, married late because he wanted to help them, built his father's house in, you know, the village, did a lot of great things, but he also made a lot of mistakes. And I think he just got modeled up. But when he came back, I was finishing medical school towards the end when he came back. And he was trying to reconnect with me. And because I was young, I was not ready for a relationship with him. I made it difficult for me, really. And I remember one day he came to my school and we had a conversation. And we're walking down to the gate. I was walking into the bus stop. And I just told him that, you know, I don't like you.
Wow.
I said, you know, I was so bold, and you know, he would look at me like that. I was like, I'm no longer your, you know, I was your first son. And I was like, yeah, I was like, you know, I don't like, you were short. You know, I don't told him I don't want to hear anything about my mom. So
From
when
you.
let's talk about us. Let's not talk about how my mom, trying to explain our relationship with her, kind of thing. Then he came back and he said I graduated and he wanted to, do a party, a graduation party. I refused. He went to the church to speak to the pastors in the church that I wanted to rob him of the joy of a father, blah, blah, blah. And there was deep pain there, but I didn't allow that to control me. I was just going on my life. I just was studying, doing things and serving. I was in the church.
The emotions and then you moved
I
on.
buried on until when he became sick. And when he became sick and we had to care for him. And as life would have it, he was sick and he was admitted in the same ward where I was working in Luth. So,
Wow.
and he died in my ward. My father passed away in my ward. All right. So when he was sick, this man who was the warrior suddenly became
other than life. Now became, oh my God.
He became dependent on me. I saw him vulnerable. I saw him naked. I saw him broken. He had an amputation. All right. And his health deteriorated, and I saw him cry. I saw him apologize to my mom. I saw him hold my hand and tell me for the first time in his life that me, I love you. Never ever heard that from this Ondo Ibotakoma, this man that was a warrior. For him to say that with tears in his eyes, holding my hands. Do you understand what I'm saying? That melted my heart. I saw him, apologize to my mom. I saw the two of them, right there, maybe in a prophetic way, maybe he knew that his time was going to be up. And we didn't know at the time. We thought it was going to come out, it was going to do well. That Sunday morning, I was the youth pastor in our church then at the time, and I was going to Sunday morning to preach in church, November 3rd, I think it was. And I went to the hospital because I was living in Luth. I went to his ward to say, hey, Dad, I'm going to church. I'll be back after church and all that. And I entered the ward and I was told he had passed away. Just earlier. So I just went there and pulled the white sheets that was over his face, and I saw his life.
Confirm.
Yeah.
You not put your hand, by his neck to feel his pulse. I did that for my mom. Just to feel if she's really dead. Oh, God.
Yeah, it's amazing. But that was, I think, that just summarizes the emotions and the pain that relationship had. And of course, it's affected me. I still have some of those scars, there. But as I said, in life, there are a lot of things you cannot control. All right. But what is important is to look at what you have. I told my wife, as when we were starting out, that I never enjoyed home. That's why I left home at the age of 14, never really came back. I would see it and I would spend maybe 1 or 2 days, but I never really stayed home, because I never enjoyed home. And I said, I just want to enjoy home. So today I'm a home person. Yes, I love home. I will look forward to coming home. If you are like most, I don't work full time. I've not worked full time since 2015. All right, so I think I only work 23 hours a week. I don't work on Thursdays. Most Thursdays I don't work. I just do meetings, coaching, reading, just stay in my office, my man cave here, and watch it. So I live my laid back life, play golf from time to time, and just enjoy my life and do some pastoral work. So and it's just in the home. It's just in the family, So I'm addicted to home because I'm a home guy. I never had. You will see me hug my kids like 10 times a day. I love you. I love you. But a lot of that is because of what I did not enjoy. A lot of that was, what I never really enjoyed. It was do this, do that. Your father will be driving down like that. You'll be scared. You'll be running and go. Those kind of things. It's a different life, but I can complain. I can complain. Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. So I'm seeing comments on YouTube. People like that. They don't even have a question to ask you. Like your story just summed up everything. But we have this one question for you. And once you take this, that will be all for the night. Puta Timothy is asking that, please, just for emphasis sake, what do you specifically advise as core principle or core habits of a change maker? So this person is looking to an execution pathway that you can recommend, that what he or she should do to, maintain that change making or to navigate change, so to speak?
Okay, so the first thing is, once you have clarity about what you want to be doing, and I think that's Temi's job to help you get that clarity about what you should be doing and to hold you accountable for that. So once you have clarity, the next thing is certainly alignment, to align yourself in that pathway, all right? And it starts with, number one, for me, it's having a positive approach, having a positive mentality, being a very positive person. And you cannot build positivity if you don't surround yourself with positive energy, a lot of positivity. So it starts by you having relationships, having people in your network, joining people, attending programs that would give you that sort of positive energy, positive vibe. All right. Now, when I was in medical school, someone said to me something: the secret of your future is hidden in your daily routine. Successful people do daily what unsuccessful people do once in a while. All right. The key to mastery is repetition. All right. If you want to be good at something, you do it over and over and over again. You don't just do it, you teach it. By the time you do it over and over again and you teach it over and over again, you become an expert at it. So whatever it is that you've been called to do, you've got to dig deep into it. You've got to understand your message. So if, for example, as a change maker, I've got to read about change. I've got to understand it. My own weapon, my own tool for change making is neuroscience, of which I've got a background in that. All right. So I've just completed another accreditation program now on the neuroscience of leadership because I've been called to leaders. So my own people, my audience are not just the everyday average person. All right. And without due respect to all of you are leaders in your own way, but my own leaders, people I'm called to assist with leaders, people, executives and all that. All right. That's my focus. That's my niche. All right. So I've got to understand their language because when I get there, I'm not going to be talking about chemistry and all that. I'm going to be talking about sales, bottom line, top line. I'm going to be talking about performance, athletes, technical experts, people, government, mayors, and councillors and senators. I've got to be able to speak in their language. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you got to understand exactly what you've been called to do. You got to apply yourself to it and go through that journey. It's a journey. You're not going to I didn't just drop. I didn't just drop, and I'm still in my journey. A lot of you know me as a doctor, as a neurologist. I'm telling you, in 10 years' time, by God's grace, you would know me as a world leader in neuro leadership. All right. So I'm a baby in the field of neuro leadership, which is, being a leadership development person, but with neuroscience. All right. That's my goal. That's it. That's where my medical knowledge and everything is leading me to, where I can sit down with the Prime Minister of Australia and we can talk strategy from a neuroscience point of view. Do you understand? That is it. Okay, so for me, it's still a journey. So you understand what you've been called to do. Start applying yourself to do. Remember that repetition is the key to mastery. Repeat it over and over again. Read the books, apply yourself, get your scripts, get your action plans. And I cannot overemphasize the importance of coaching. I think that a lot of people think that coaching is overrated, but they make a big mistake. I've got a life coach, Wendy Burns. I've got a business coach, Christina Hansen. I've got a personal training coach, all right, Teresa. I think if I count, and then I think I've got a strategy person as well, strategy coach, all right.
Wow.
So if I count the investments in coaching that I have made, even just my life coach, every time I sit with my life coach, my family, my wife and I, we sit with her, we pay about $700 for an appointment.
Wow.
Just to sit with her. And why are we putting that investment? It's because we want to be better. It's because we want somebody to hold us accountable. It's because we want somebody to, and what does she talk to me about? Fatherhood. The last assignment she would give me was about listening. She gave me some exercises how to listen to my wife.
My God.
Or how I can become a better father. All right. Because, and coaching does not have to be individuals. It may not be even transactional. Coaching could be group. Coaching could be with, with a friend. It could be, it could be
an elderly one.
Yes, absolutely. And coaching could be mentorship. You could have a blended form of mentorship and coaching. The only differences with coaching is that, the answer, you produce the answers, not your mentor. Like when I mentor people, I tell you, like what I'm doing now is mentorship. What I'm doing, I'm telling you my story, that's mentorship. All right, okay. So it all depends, but you need people around. And so the reason why I have mentors, the reason why I have coaches is because I see that they hold me accountable. I've got this 25-year-old. I'm going to put an Instagram post, In fact, on Monday, I've told her to do an Instagram post. This 25-year-old personal trainer of mine, she's Vietnamese background, Asian girl. She drives me. Like my wife, who I have known from high school sweethearts, who I have known through college, we were in love, who we've married for 13 years. She will tell me to do something and I'll still find a way not to do it. She will tell me that I'm gaining weight and I'll still find a way. The way you have a way of not listening to your wife, you don't argue, but she can't get me to do stuff. All right. She'll say, let's go walking.
25-year-old trainer is driving you to do it.
I'm scared of her.
Your own money, on your
On
money.
my money. That's a crazy thing. I don't know. If it was Nigeria, you would say that she's used them charms for me. Like, I don't know how she's able to hold me accountable. I get in there, she'll ask me, what did you eat today? What did you eat on the weekend? How many hours did you sleep? How much did you drink? So she needs to know my diet, my exercise regimen, how much water have I had, how prepared I am. Did I do boxing? She wants me to do boxing with my kids as a form of cardio. So I've got all the boxing gloves. They used to stay in the box in the garage. She said, okay.
You like your seats. Now you have to enter field.
Yes. So I have to do boxing with my kids. I have got to do this. I go to the gym 4 times a day. In fact, this is my gym session, or every Sunday morning before I go to church. I wake up 5:30.
We release you. Go.
So get somebody to hold you accountable. Get somebody to hold you accountable. And let me tell you, pay for it. It works that way. All right, guys. Thank you.
Oh, doctor. Thank you so much. God bless you. This is such a good. We are so gifted. So guys, you're watching this for free and it's available for free forever for you to watch. So you can come back over and over. As long as you're in this mentoring hub, you have access to all our replays for free, okay? Get your friends to watch it, get your loved ones, get everybody you know to watch it. We have done a lot. Can you see it is free, but we pay a price. It's here early in the morning. 6:30 is time. And we are eating deep into his gym time, right? He pastors a church, he does a lot. And so, guys, I hope you're feeling grateful. Do you not see why I'm hurt that we have over 1,000 of you registered, yet you don't show up live? I don't know what the problem is. What shall we do? You young people, what shall we do? We send SMS, we send broadcast WhatsApp, we put you in Telegram, you are on Facebook, we reach you every way. Yet are you here? So if successful people have coaches, please, who are you not to have a coach? If people who are thriving, who are doing the best in the world, if they are having mentors, if they are having accountability partners, please tell me again, who are you that you will be saying no to an accountability pod where they can hold you accountable? We hear this talking about activities. I said it in one of our core pillars. Daily activity, daily work. You remember, right? Daily work. So why won't you invest in a community that will keep you together? I want to see if there are questions here. Raymond said, I am speechless tonight. I need to digest some salient missiles unleashed tonight. Thank you so much, sir. Lizzie said, thank you so much, sir. Get someone to hold you accountable. Yes. I remember March 2016 was my most productive month ever. I can't even forget the month. Do you know why? That was the first time I used something we call an execution sheet. I think I'm going to share my execution sheet with you guys. So let me just share the execution sheet. I had to design this. Like I said, I'm a tools girl. Talk about tools, worksheet, workbook. I have acute gifts with processes and systems. Frameworks. Oh no, I'm the best there is. You see that Jimi said, you see that we are one of the best when it comes to coaching with framework, tools, resources. I'm one of the best there is, right? So let me show you my execution module. I'll be giving this to all our students in the community, and this is to help you do what? To perform better, right? You show up 100%, going all out on all your set goals. See, I said this tool changed my life in March 2016, right? And now I'm going to be giving you this same tool. The moment you sign into the Transformational Hub Launchpad, the TMH Launchpad, that 6-month program is called a Launchpad. We help you to launch your brand as a transformational leader, as a visionary, right? This worksheet, this last part, this one sheet, see, out of the activities in theory above, list out your daily must-do activities in the column below and mark daily for the next 90 days. Can you see? So you mark these activities every day and share with your accountability partner. I said, go through your daily goals. See, I said for every zero should carry a penalty to be paid to who? Your accountability partner, or as agreed between you two. With me, it's $1 only. Every activity that if I'm your AP, once you miss any of the activities that you have listed here, and you put 0 anywhere here, that is 550 naira that you pay to me per activity. If you miss 10 in a day, that's what? $10, 5,500 naira. You pay it. And until you pay it, I'll not release you. Now, this is one of the tools you'll be using in your first, is it your first month now, month 2 on a daily work? Yes. So month 1, we are covering purpose and vision for month 1. Purpose and vision for month 1. By month 2, we would cover the daily work and network. And by month 3, we would cover so month by month. Anyway, so we have it all spread out. You will see. So again, I want to share with you the sheet I shared earlier on that some of you said that you did not see. Okay, I want to share it again with you. And hopefully by now it won't be so blurry. Okay, I hope you can see it. So these are the basic plan. Free access to the replays of the TMH 4 days bootcamp. This one and even plus the 1.0, where we had Bankole Williams, Steve Harris, who again, Samuel Akintayo came to speak on purpose, praise. So where came to speak on sexual, stuff. We had Coach Sam Obafemi, one of my beloved coaches, right? 5 of them came. Now again, under 5 mentors as well. You get all of it for free once you are in. Then you get the online community. You heard it about community, right? Yes, then our conference and also the mentoring emails. Get a mentor. Then if you're on gold, if you pay per 2 months, maybe you don't really have money, you pay every 2 months, you get everything in the basic plan, plus monthly live mentoring session with me. See, currently those who I coach for 1 year, they pay me $10,000. That's like 5.5 million naira. And I have 1 monthly session with them in a group and on one-on-one. Just one. So ordinarily, if you just divide 10K by 10 months, that's 1K. So see, let me not even go there. It is so obvious you cannot afford me. And so this is not about money. This money is just for administrative purposes, because we will pay your resident mentors. We will pay to build some things for you. And I am an advocate of asking you to pay. That's why I love it. That Dr. Niyi just said, I'm pay for it. He said pay for it. Because when you don't pay attention. I'm sure if I asked all of you that registered to pay for 500 naira, most of you will be here more than this thing. And I think the next bootcamp, I'll put a price on it. I'm thinking so. Our next bootcamp is in another 4 to 5 months. I think I'll put a price on it. If there's just 200 naira, we ask you to pay. Perhaps with payments, you will feel something leaving you. Because how can we have you guys? We sent SMS. Do you know how much it costs us to send SMS to 1,000 people? Times that by 4 naira each person, that's 4,000 SMS to you. Leaving aside all the recharge cards that our mentors are using to call you on the phone. And still you're not even here. I think the next, somebody should please session, we are putting a price, even if it's just 100 naira. We want you to pay a fee to get in. Perhaps that will, because the more you pay, the more you pay attention. And we need to stop this free mentality. It is breeding entitlement in people. And you guys, you are leaders. This is not a youth program. I didn't call it youth. I call it for visionaries, young. And if you to be a visionary, create impact, influence, and income, you must be ready to pay the price. It comes with paying with your money, right? You have access to coaching resources and tools to aid your execution. I've just shared with you now my execution mojo, that I give to my top-notch clients. I'll share with you the successful business idea validator workbook. I'll share with you a couple of tools that will just help you see things and aid your execution. Then we'll now have bi-monthly guest experts. Bi-monthly guest experts. Do you know how much you have to pay those people to open their mouth, to speak, to teach? So this money, please, I don't want you to ever in your mind, in your memory, think that you are paying for this. Please, you're not. You're not. You're not. This is free. This money is just to help you pay attention. Okay? And then we are not looking for a crowd. If it's just 2 human beings that pay for this session, it will go on. If it's just one person, one singular person, we will still move on. And when you're ready to catch up with us, no problem, we will allow you in. When we have finished our whole stuff, you can come in, no problem. The diamond, you have all those things, but now we give you a peer-to-peer accountability. And the reason is because if you are in gold, we can't be pairing you with anybody. So imagine us pairing you with a diamond. By the time you now drop out, maybe if you drop out by month 3 or month 5, what will happen to our diamond members? So those who are committing for 6 months are the ones who will get peer-to-peer accountability. These same guys have also given us more money to get their t-shirts for them and a cap for them. And then I reward them with a private quarterly mentoring conversation. So it is outside the normal monthly session. It is now chit chats, right? Just you and I, in the group, of course. I can bring in a guest. I say, okay, I want to bring in a guest. I want to bring in DSA to come and, share with my private mentees. So this is all those requests of Coach Temi, be my mentee, be my mentor, be my mentor. This is your answer. If you pass this one, please don't be in my DM. I'm not doing any mentoring in any unstructured formats. My mentoring programs are structured. Currently, I'm a mentor with Tony Elumelu Foundation. There's a structure and a system to it. I'm a mentor on Wimbies. One of my mentees, I think she came in yesterday, and I don't know if she's still on this call today. Yesterday, they said, you know what, join this program. She's 30. I said, but you can still learn. And she said, yes, coach, I will learn. And she joined the session, listened to my session, and she said, wow, coach, thank you so much. Right? So those are structured formats. I don't just do all these random thingies. Right? And then I recommend that all of you get my book, A Millennial's Guide to Mentoring. This will really teach you. It will really show you, right, the process to maximize your mentoring relationships so that you don't go and mess up. I think I've said enough. So tomorrow we'll share the link, or we'll email the link for you to sign up the payments account number. You can ask your resident mentors that will add you to the WhatsApp group. We'll also put it also on Telegram, right? So once you make payment, don't worry, we will onboard you. Okay, we will onboard you between now and the end of March. right? And then before the end of March, we would have added it to the academy. We'll send you messages, and then we'll get your address if you are on the diamond plan. Get your address to deliver the mesh to you if you are in Nigeria, okay, for free. But if you are abroad, you would have to cover your shipping, all right? We would note how much it costs for shipping. You know, they will ship to you, all right? So that is it. I think it's a good time. We have 5 more minutes at the end of this session. I think we can welcome Coach Jennifer. Let me see if there are any more questions I missed in the chat. Let me just go to the chat one last time and see if I missed anything there. So it's blurry. It's still blurry, Abby. This is real juice. Okay, thank you. Yes. So that means, Esther, you need to go and check your emails. We add the link to, we added the link to the Telegram, and I think even the email we send tomorrow, we'll add all the links to it again. The links, so our PM should please take notes. Anybody who's in the team, please take note that we would add to it. Person is asking how much is the silver and gold. My darling, I just shared that screen with you now. I just shared the screen with you now. Is this still blurry? Maybe it's my net. Okay, let me turn off my video. Maybe it will help matters. Okay, my video is off. Can you see? We don't have silver. So the basic plan is a silver plan. Okay, so the other gold or a diamond. All right. Can you see? Gold is what? 20,000 naira per semester. That is for 2 months. All right. Diamond is what? 50K. I don't know. Jennifer, are you able to do a screenshot on at your end?
Okay, I can do a screenshot on my laptop because I'm looking at my laptop.
On your laptop. Okay. How about your phone on YouTube? You can't, but it's fine. Okay.
It is also not very clear on my phone this time around.
Okay. Then maybe you can do it on your laptop then, so that maybe we can share this. Even I think I should also do this as well. Let me also do this as well. Yes. Let me also share. Let me also do a screenshot. Then I think I can send this. I can share this to everyone. So the goal is 20,000 naira for 2 months, and if you're paying for 6 months. Screenshots. Okay, let me have my phone and do a screenshot. And then okay, fantastic. So it's clear on at my end here. Let me do the screenshots. Okay, it's done. All right. So I hope you can see, I hope you saw it now. 50K for 6 months. So it's a 6 months program, all right? So we start from the 6 months, and from there, take it up from there, right? We can have an advanced session, execution plans after 6 months. That is a different kettle of fish, and you have to qualify for that one, right? But for now, we'll just keep it at this. And I can also share the account details for this. Okay, so I'll put the account details on. Thank you, Adebola. Thank you for doing that. Okay, awesome. The account details will be shared, I think, in the email that we'll send to you. And then, yes, that's about it. It's a GT Bank, Win or Win Consult. I don't know if Jennifer can still pick it up as well. GT Bank, Win or Win Consult, 0628605923. Okay, Jennifer, are you able to copy, or Adebola, are you able to copy the whole message I dropped in the group and just paste on and paste for us? You haven't received any email, only check your spam. We sent an email from transformational@gmail.com. We send emails every day, even till to this morning, we sent emails. So check, just search for transformational@gmail.com. You will see it. Okay, I'm waiting for Adebola to copy, or for Jennifer to copy the chats in the group and drop it on the group. So Lizzie is asking, how do I pay? Jennifer, is that okay? Are you dropping it?
I have dropped in the chat.
Okay, but it's not showing yet.
Okay.
It's not showing yet. Or my one is missing it. No, it's not showing yet. Adebola, can you start dropping in the chat? There's a delay. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. All right now. So you have the details, right? So that is all you're getting. The account details is GT Bank, Win or Win Consult 062 860 5923. 062 860 5923. GT Bank, Win or Win Consult. That account is specifically for TMH members, right? It's not my usual company account, so that we don't mix things together. Jennifer, are you sure you've put that stuff out there? Because my video is showing that it's not delayed, but still no charts there. No chart, nothing is dropping. When does the program start? It starts by April. 6 months, it ends 6 months later. Okay, starts April, ends 6 months later. What did you do? Did you pick the charts I dropped? The account details I dropped on our group. Did you pick it and then you drop it on
the YouTube chart?
On the YouTube charts. Okay, let me try and do it from my own phone. Maybe that will work. You can start paying from tonight, actually. You can start paying from tonight just to save time. And then once you pay, you send an email to Transformers Mentoring Hub at gmail.com. So let me send another message. After payment, send an email to Transformers Mentoring Hub at gmail.com. Okay. Can I have my phone, please? Let me just copy and paste this stuff before it's too late. I don't know why Jennifer and Adebola, what's up? Are you also posting in the group? I don't know what happened to all our volunteers who are on the group. They're not. So this program is strictly for people between the age of 16 and 24. We don't care your O level, your secondary school, anything. Between 16 and 24, and you're ready for mentoring. You know that you are for the next level, right? That you are for the next level. That's who this program is for. Okay. Can you guys see the account details? You're not on the YouTube, Amma. I'm not asking if you're here. Drop it on the YouTube from our WhatsApp group. Drop their details on the YouTube. I don't want to leave this matter until later. The account details is there on WhatsApp. Copy it, drop it on the YouTube. So let me do that quickly myself, since nobody is.
Okay. I think that there's a challenge with the internet because I personally have dropped chats a number of times, but it looks like it's not showing. On my end, I can see the chat, but let's see. Let's wait for Coach Tewe to do that. Anyway, thank you, everybody. Thank you to those who stayed from the beginning to the end. I know it feels like a stretch, but if you listen to all the stories of people who shared today, you will know that where you're going requires a bit of a stretch. Remember, Mr. Sam Havard today said to do what? To do extra, to do extra. This is the extra. This is not a 1 hour session. That's why we're doing 4 hours, of our time today. Do extra, do extra, do extra. That's our mantra here at the Transformers Mentoring Hub. Well done, well done, well done. Don't forget that you can follow our mentors on social media so that you stay updated about the things that they are offering and stay updated with cutting-edge information that will lead to your transformation. Special thanks to Sam Havard. His new account is Real Sam Havard, and so that's where we all should go after this night. A special thanks to Dr. Niyi Borire. He's on Instagram as Niyi_Borire. Please, let's do well to follow him. And tomorrow, who is excited to have J.O.? We call him Daddy J.O. Yes, John Obidi will be here with us tomorrow evening. Yes. I hope that if you know someone who registered for this program and is not here, ask them to come here. And if you know somebody who is not registered, please don't be taking all of this alone. Tomorrow is a good day for them to still be a part of this. And of course, we have our dearest, loving coach, Tewe to close up the bootcamp for us tomorrow after John Obidi's session. Follow us on Instagram at Transformers Mentoring Hub. Also, I know somebody had asked, oh, where's the link to join the Telegram and Facebook channels? Look out for your emails. Look out for that information in your emails, because I know regular emails are sent out. So please look out for that. Share about the bootcamp. The link is transformersmentoringhub.com/bootcamp. Okay? Share. And before you leave, now as I'm talking, as you're looking and listening to me, click the like button. You'll see it right there if you're using your mobile phone. If you're using your mobile phone, just close the chat. You'll see the thumbs up. Click on it to like this video. And then you'll see the subscribe button there. Click on it. Just once you click on the subscribe button and it shows that you're subscribed, beside it, there's a bell. Click on that bell so that you will be notified anytime we go live, and also be notified of any other videos that are posted on this channel. Thank you for being with us. It's been a long evening, a very rewarding evening. Coach Tewe, before we say our good night, I don't know if there are any last words from you.
Oh no, I'll see you all tomorrow. So we're looking at having tomorrow's session likely earlier because of John's time zone, right? Mm-hmm. I've been trying to get it's Sunday, right? So definitely we should be able to, we can make things flexible. So he's still saying, we agreed 7:30, for his session, but he's asking us to move it earlier, right? So, but we will send an email and also put it up on Instagram, okay? And then, Telegram. So for now, let's just keep it at 7 o'clock, okay? 7 p.m. If it happens earlier, we will let you know. So look out for your email, look out for your mentors on the WhatsApp group, listen to them, watch out what they are saying, and then Telegram. So we are on Telegram at www.transformersmentoringhub.com/Telegram. It will lead you straight to the Telegram channel, or /Facebook. It will lead you straight to our Facebook group, or /Instagram. It will lead you straight to our Instagram channel, or Instagram page, or to share the stuff. It will lead you straight to all the important places that you want to be. Okay. So that's it. Thank you all. Have a good night. Thank you, Jennifer. God bless you.
All right.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. See you tomorrow.